Everything that pleases Jah, but it's only me. We have lost it. We have lost it. Yeah, we have lost it. Where did we lose our identity? Now, where did we lose our identity? We're running around like a lonely sheep who's lost its master and has gone astray. We have lost it. We have lost it. We have lost it. Lost it. When are we gonna join in unity? Tell me when are we gonna join in unity? Everything else pleases Jah, but it's only man. Yeah, everything else pleases Jah, but it's only man. We have lost it. We have lost it. We have lost it. People, solidarity, solidarity. Oh, everybody wants the same thing, don't they? Everybody wants a happy end. They wanna see the game on Saturday. They wanna be somebody's friend. Everybody wanna work for a living. Everybody want their children warm. Everybody wants to be forgiven. They want a shelter from the sun. Look at me, I ain't an enemy. We walk in common ground. We don't need to fight each other. What we need. Solidarity. Oh, solidarity. Solidarity, oh yeah, solidarity. Nobody likes to ask for money. Nobody likes to play the ground. Nobody likes to wait in a long line. Nobody likes to be pushed around. Everybody wants their family protected. They wanna express themselves. Everybody wants to live forever. Look at me, I'm an enemy. Don't believe everything you see. This is no time to fight each other. What we need, what we need. Solidarity. Solidarity. Oh, solidarity. Solidarity. Oh, yeah. Solidarity. 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 Hey! Everybody wants the same thing down there, down there, down there. Everybody wants they wanna see the game on Saturday. They wanna be somebody's friend. What we need, what we need, solidarity. 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 Lord, solidarity.
But nothing beats.
Ligony Club in Kingston, Jamaica. This is, of course, Bess 100 FM, the morning connection with Percival and Minett. Good morning, Pastor Percy. How are you?
I'm very good. Had a good night's sleep. Had a good time yesterday. God means very good. And I'm just ready to go.
You still seem kind of deep in the spirit, though.
Yeah, you have to be. But out of a place of prayer comes ammunition to take on the day.
You're weaponized.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
And I've not been weaponized like the Integrity Commission. I can never forget that comment that you made, but...
And the fighting.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. The people were at one in rejecting that comment, and now look what is going on.
Yeah, because the cartoon this morning in the Gleaner is you see a tank and you see 4 or 5 ministers on top of it, and then you see the gentleman with his
shield.
With, you know,
oh, no, you're still describing the attacker report.
Yes. So,
okay.
So there's a tank, and beside it you see the gentleman with his battle axe and his mallet.
Yes.
I want to stop the attack while they're up there doing their thing.
The leader of the army.
And then you see, I think that looks like Greg
Christie, man.
With the shield.
The nice and shining armor.
Standing his ground.
But it's so weird that they would use, or rather, it's so deliberate that they would use Greg Christie to represent the Integrity Commission. The chairman, Mr. Panton, has been saying far more and is way more authoritative in his statement than Mr. Christie has been. I think maybe public sentiment is being echoed by the artists who, from Mr. Christie's first time at bat, where he showed himself to be very strong in certain areas, they just continue to give him that leadership. But I think if you were to comment properly on what's happening with the Integrity Commission, you would see a chairman of great legal knowledge and experience who is standing firmly in front of his team. And
what leadership does.
Which is what leadership is about. And he's not one of whom it can be said that he is political or partisan or lacking in certain qualities of integrity. No, I think Mr. Panton has distinguished himself as a jurist at the highest level
president
of the Court of Appeal. Yes, and he's not new to the job. They didn't just kind of throw him in there. He's been the chairman for a while, gone through different administrations, if I'm right about that. and he is holding firmly to his position. And I think that right is on the side of the Integrity Commission. They haven't done as well for the country as we would have liked them to. But now that they're under attack, I think they themselves are even seeing that there's much more they could have done to neuter this demon that has come out of
corruption.
Yes. You know, when those who should guard the gate nap and get lazy, energy build up behind there. And then when they begin to assault you because they feel big enough to overwhelm you with their presence, you realize that, oh my gosh, I should have been paying better attention. This code of conduct should have been in place years ago. We should now be looking at the utterances of the Warmingtons and others through the lens of a code of conduct that people have come to understand and to respect. Instead, you're just now trying to bell the cat when the cat is a tiger. You know, I'm mixing my metaphors.
No.
But you see what I'm saying?
But remember, the tiger was a baby cat.
Absolutely, cute kitty.
Yeah, cute kitty.
Ain't cute kitty no more.
Well, that's just a part of the education, and it never misses my own mind in terms of the fact that if you deal with situations
early o'clock,
you see forward it is, and you do it, then prevention is better than cure.
Every day.
And even some of the things somebody was commenting,
it's also cheaper.
Yeah, it is very cheaper. So, and even some of the things that you see, like I'm just thinking, I'm switching gears in terms of.
Gears on me, man. It's free flowing Thursday.
Not that. I'm just thinking in terms of what's happening in education. People have been saying for a very, very long time, and different ministers have tried to do different things. But I had a conversation with somebody who is on their way out of the system, and somebody who is a very, 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 very much loves Jamaica, young person. But she says, she asked me for a recommendation, and I gave her the recommendation, and she said, this is what it is for. And we were in a discussion on Wednesday. She was just crying. You could see that she was overwhelmed because the decision was a painful one for her. But the reality of taking care of herself, taking care of her parents, she said, no, it's not working out. It's not working out. And she said, if I were to simply say to my parents, but I can't afford this, it would break their heart. And she just keep it in. And she was crying. She was crying. And she's on her way out. And she was saying to
she's
me,
of the education sector.
Yes. And one of specialists that she's a science teacher. And she's not only a science teacher, she's gone ahead and done her master's in things. And she says, well, it's not all of the allowance is gone, And just loop into one. And it's not making any sense because somebody who just come in and get the same pay as me. How would that make sense?
So is this what we're talking about is based on the work, the $1 billion contracts that you are here referring me to now, where Ernst & Young
2019, a contract was signed by Mr. Clark in terms of the review, and now the government is saying, we can't see it. You will not see it. And everybody's saying, this contract that you have that was signed to do this bill of work, this quantity of work, you have started to implement it. And you're saying we can't implement everything is still in draft. But the major thing for doing it was the compensation review, and that gone through the gate.
So when it's time to be transparent and to make disclosure of the underlying, I guess, expert work, which informed the decisions taken and implemented, the government's response is the reports are still in draft form and are protected from disclosure.
That's absolute garbage. Somebody would say garbage.
The French for garbage?
Yes, it's garbage.
Well, the JMEA, the JCTU, are calling it an invalid excuse. They say that the government's rationale for blocking access to the report on the public sector salary reform program is an invalid excuse, and Pastor has called it garbage.
Yeah, but you know, because the basis of any relationship, let me go, is trust. When you said it before, when we are negotiating, you said, okay, what you put on the table is reasonable. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I'm saying, okay, I am trusting you based on what you have said is true, but it comes down to the fore.
They come down to the nitty-gritty. We see where an independent private sector organization has put their professional credentials on the line in respect of this massive project.
Yes.
It's not a cheap project.
$1 billion.
Anything that costs close to $1 billion, and this is from 2019. So it covers, I guess, it covers work done over a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
They have not produced a full final report.
But you have used.
But you have used the work.
You have made increases.
Mm-hmm.
And you have granted the people an increase, which is 20% over 3 years. As a basis, you've done this review. And then you're saying, no, hold on, it's still draft. Don't they see what they're doing to themselves? It's the proverbial shooting yourself in the foot.
But do we mind? Because on Wednesdays, we make some declarations over this nation that calls for the exposure of these kinds of arrangements. So one way or another, the truth will come out. So you ask for it. I mean, the Access to Information Act is being revealed to be a waste of time. It seems like what you need to do is just, what happened at that school? Go into the office and take out the.
Take out the.
Break into the office and take out the safe.
You don't want to watch the game.
Because if you have an Access to Information Act, which is meant to allow citizens a proper process to gain access to information, and when you use it, you are met with these kinds of responses. It either means that the act is ineffective and a sham, or we are simply in the hands of lawless persons who make laws which they have no intention of honoring.
As they go along.
And you just make it up as you go along.
No. Have you ever been in a game?
Yes, I have. Where the rules change based on who's leading. Oh, yeah.
Or, as I pointed to, you're playing football. Mm-hmm. Minett own the football.
No, not Minett.
Minett own the football. Minett own the football.
It's Percy own the football.
Minett owns the football. And Minett don't like what is happening. And Minett said, my mother called me. Mother called me, mommy called me that thing because I can't do that.
Mommy said, bring the ball.
Bring the ball. Come on, Minett. Come, that's the chores. You take up the ball, and you go.
See you later.
And you walk on, and you say.
And everybody looking like, what happened?
What happened here? And you go use the excuse. It's like my mother called me. That's what has happened here now.
And Percy, as I am walking off, clutching the ball, feeling very satisfied that, I've had my way, somebody going throw a rock stone and lick me in my head back and take the ball. This is how things break down, because there is someone who had just scored a goal that has gone into oblivion now, and they say, enough of this. It's 1 minute. We can take her. And they take the ball. So when we behave in this way, we are provoking persons with the right level of motivation to just break ranks and set their own rules. If we do not understand that as a people, those who are helpless in the homes and are trusting others to maintain law and order, those who have the responsibility to maintain law and order, you must realize that when you allow a certain level of chaos and just willful disobedience to hold sway, you're tempting others to break rank and say, well, if you don't care about it, neither do I.
You know, and Minett, that I'm hearing what you're saying, I'm shuddering. Because I'm seeing, because we have had calls.
That's what's going on in Haiti.
Yeah.
If you want to see an example of it.
Yeah.
People there are just fed up of nobody doing the right thing, and they're saying, some of them, I'll make my own way.
And you know, that has started happening, you know.
In Jamaica?
No, in Haiti.
Yes.
Because I saw this article, read it online, where now people are taking off on themselves to defend themselves against the gang.
You have to.
Why
sit you here and die?
And the justice that they need to know to people who come in their communities and them have the slightest resemblance of being a part of the gang. It's the man with the machetes, you know.
Yeah, oh God. It's rough.
No.
Because at this point, every strange face is a threat to the purity and the security of your children.
And in your community,
Yeah.
people are saying, no, and we don't want that.
Kill first, ask questions later. We don't want to send to that
We
place.
don't want that. And how the government is behaving in terms of a lot of situations and issues, I wonder if them understand.
They're really tempting fate.
I wonder
really
if they understanding what it is they are doing.
Yeah.
And then I think
the headlines today, what we're seeing on the front page today, and you know I've done this thing of just looking at the front page to see what's mainstream media saying to us about the state of the nation by what they choose to put on the front page. That's always worth a consideration. And then also the actual happenings, what is really going on. There's been complaints coming out of certain high-end neighborhoods. 2 complaints have risen to the point, and I know they're not new complaints firstly because the matters they speak of are old things, mature things happening. There's been a complaint that informal communities are being established in the Norbrook area on Water Commission land.
Yeah.
And I know that that's going to bubble up into something bigger because it seems like certain people have had enough of it. Then we see a little higher up the food chain complaints about land slippage that has caused a pretty much block off the roadway into a well-established neighborhood in the Barbican area. And word has been coming out now. You can see them, there's one thing that can't hide is a massive development on a hillside. I mean, you see it taking place. Now, we're seeing on the front page that there is a company involving a government legislator. They don't call the name. It's which government legislator?
It is different. So one, there is this, if we further.
It's the same Tavistock development company.
No, but there are 3 other developments happening in the community. You have a government legislator.
Tariq Malik.
And behind the other 3
developments.
Separate and apart from...
from the one with the St. Lucia company that hasn't been approved for doing the work.
No, but that's how we bring forward to there. And I remember when Patricia Green came and other lady, they said, the only way you're going to get this going is if persons on the ground begin to help to police and marshal what is happening. On the ground, begin to help to police and marshal what is happening
in the communities.
For and you see just about
so you need that activism in the communities, but more importantly, you need a credible, serious response from the regulators.
Yes, they must do their work. They must do their job. They've been paid to do it. So they've been overpaid. They've been paid to do their jobs. So the thing is, they must do their job.
But they haven't been.
No,
and that's why there have been so many decisions coming out of the courts where the judges are saying, come on, you are now complicit in the breakdown of law and order in this area of our society. For this one, the regulators are saying that developmental works have not really commenced. The developer carried out some testing, soil testing.
To see what they can do?
Yes, they were conducting borehole tests when a section collapsed. Well, if that's not the clearest reason
indication. If you
that you can't do anything there. Yeah.
And as we prepare to go to the break, you know what is fascinating about all of this? And I'm going to say we did tell you so.
Oh.
But I'm just saying we must not get into a situation where people take sleep and
mark that.
We're not doing that.
All right, we're taking a nap now. 7 a.m. Let's take our break.
You're simply the best. You're simply the best.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
On this week's House Matters, a Sexual Harassment Act to come into effect in July, National Sports Policy to look at safeguarding children in sports, and parliamentarians condemn the gruesome murder of Daniel Rowe. I'm Jenna Francis. Stay tuned. Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport Olivia Grange made her contribution to the 2023-24 sectoral debates in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, June 13. Among the major announcements she made was that effective Monday, July 3, 2023, the Sexual Harassment Act will come into effect. Ms. Grange added that ahead of the implementation date, the Bureau of Gender Affairs has been hosting sexual harassment sensitization sessions with public and private entities, schools, community and faith-based organizations. It has also been assisting agencies to develop or revise their anti-sexual harassment policies.
I use this opportunity to remind every employer and person in charge of an institution and landlords of their responsibility to ensure that the policy statement required under the Sexual Harassment Act is prepared and brought to the attention of each worker, client, student, resident, ward, inmate, patient, or member, as the case may require.
Minister Grange urged organizations that need assistance in crafting their anti-sexual harassment policies to contact the Bureau of Gender Affairs. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport will this year begin implementing a group health and life insurance plan for entertainment and cultural practitioners. To benefit from the insurance scheme, Minister Grange disclosed that practitioners must be registered on the Ministry's National Registry of Entertainment and Creative Industries Practitioners e-Registry.
Many entertainers, when they die, will have to pass the hat, and it is really sad. So we are providing insurance that will take care of their basic needs, which include life, health. In fact, I had a discussion yesterday. Some people feel we should not include maternity, but we are including maternity, because it is important in relation to our gender agenda.
Minister Grange said details of the insurance scheme will soon be disclosed. On the sports front, Minister Grange highlighted that her ministry will be introducing a policy to safeguard the rights of children. This will be carried out during the ongoing review of the national sports policy.
We enjoy our sporting successes, but we really do not understand what our young athletes go through, especially the rural ones. I've known of an athlete who has done well, sent to Kingston to stay with a family and end up being sexually abused, many of them. Or athletes being overtrained and not being given the right nutrition. And so we are introducing a policy for safeguarding our children in sport.
Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport Olivia Grange speaking in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. And finally, Minister of Education and Youth Fable Williams led the charge of parliamentarians on Tuesday who rose to offer condolences to the family, friends and loved ones of 8-year-old Daniel Rowe. Daniel was abducted from school on Thursday, June 8, and later found by a member of the Jamaica Defense Force suffering from injuries she sustained. She was taken to the hospital where she died on Saturday, June 10.
They've shattered the innocence of the children at Brayton Primary and Infant School. Madam Speaker, I know that the JCF will not leave any stone unturned until it brings the perpetrators to justice. This child died, it is reported, with tears on her face. I have goosebumps thinking about it. It could have been my child. We have to do something now.
Somebody knows. And the indignation that we all feel, the collective guilt that is on us, can be relieved by someone with conscience in the society sharing information with the police.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness speaking in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. That's it for this week's House Matters. Join us again next time for more on what's happening in the Houses of Parliament. I'm Jada Francis. Take care.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
For two. Ready, 200. Ready, mama. Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
No son el Get healthy, my friends. Stay balanced. Tune into this station, Bess FM 100, every Saturday morning, 8 o'clock to 9, for this wonderful program, Your Health Today, with me, Dr. Clarion Palmer. Yes, get healthy. Stay balanced. Bess FM 100, Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, with me, Dr. P. Get healthy.
Best 100.5 FM brings you youth empowerment and resilience, a 30-minute program with Royton McLaren every Monday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Your Monday nights will not be the same again. Managing stress, trauma? Let's talk on youth empowerment and resilience with Royton McLaren on Best 100.5 FM every Monday from 7:30 to 8 p.m.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
Tune in to Culture Talk Radio Show with Kumar Paya.
Wednesday morning from 12:30 a.m. to 2:30 a.m.
and on Friday evening 4 to 6 p.m. Oh, Bess FM 100. You'll be getting interesting discussion, music, interview, and live performances.
Follow us on Instagram at Culture Talk JA at KULTURE Talk JA.
Kumar Fire is brought to you by Alpha Whiskey.
And love more.
Live, camera, volume. Live It Up Fridays on Best 100 FM. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with I, Ibi Lion, each and every Friday. Giving you the better vibes, heard everywhere.
Things and watch me fly.
Do you remember, Jolo?
Yeah, man.
Well, guess what? I allow it 4 to 6
What?
every Friday.
Boom shot.
And Best 100 FM.
Boom shot.
You ready?
Yeah, man.
You ready?
Yeah, man.
Well, I eat that.
I love it. Which part today?
Tune in, beloved people. We're there, funny. Bless you.
Best FM. Go.
Get inspired when you tune into Vent, brought to you by Via Express Couriers. This and every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Best 100 FM. Hear from some of Jamaica's top entrepreneurs. Get updates on deals and upcoming events, tips for business, and pure vibes. Vent, a safe space for discussion. Make a chat, no man.
Best 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show, Lascelles Butch Chen, on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing work in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
One and drive. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss. Try to call them, guys. Trust me.
Good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
Nothing is impossible for God is a deliverance ministry dedicated to the preaching of the gospel and the healing of the sick. Heard on Best 100 FM, Sundays at 12:30 to 1 with Reverend Neville Otten Pastor. Your life will never be the same. Pray for the prayers and receive God's deliverance ministry. This program is sponsored by PJ Distributor at the corner of Main Street, Santa Cruz and Market Street. For prayer, call 828-4413. Luke 1:37, Jeremiah 32:17 said, nothing is impossible for God. God bless you, my friends.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
Goodness mercy, it's me again, Lord, your restorer, your game changer. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Best FM 100. It's Apostle Clive Campbell, a.k.a. the Khaki Suit Man, coming to you from 8 to 12 Orange Street, also Richmond District, Mandeville. Embrace the change.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. It's always a pleasure to be at the Ligani Club on Thursday mornings. The outdoors, fresh air, brilliant sunshine, the verdant green plants. Verdant is not a a nice enough word for me, but its meaning is clear.
That mean green?
Green. Lush and healthy. They're not scraggly and look like they're suffering. If I say that, the Water Commission might want to come over here to find out if Polygyny Club actually has
Their own well.
access to a well, their own well, I should say our own well, situated next door, and being used by even by the NHT building, which has been constructed on lands formerly part of the Polygyny Club holdings.
I remember
So-
that, yes. I remember when here
When
used
this
to,
was race course.
not even race course, just in recent history when
Yeah.
there was a big area that you would run up and down and play on a football, and then what happened is that you got the erection of the park, Emancipation Park. So you are saying
It's a
that
strange word to use for a park.
Emancipation Park.
No, the erection of the park.
What happened? It wasn't erected?
No.
It was built?
No. You could even say it was established.
So, but they have built stuff there. So what other word? You are the wordsmith. Help me here.
Oh, dear Lord. I said that, but the establishment of the park. Anyone but erect.
Jesus.
on morning radio.
The building of the building of
The creation of the park. Anything. Any other word. Because you could erect a scaffold.
Okay.
Yes. Or a monument. Is that what you wanted? The monument.
It was, yeah. It has fun memories for me, though, you know.
An artist will say the installation of the monument.
The installation of the monument.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
But where we were at, there's something we were going through the headlines. So
Yeah.
here is the whole thing with building, the chaos that is existing in the building sector. in
You think
terms
it
of-
would? You think it only made the front page because it's Tavistock and Barbican? Did you ever see the bridge that collapsed down in the little community on the front page?
No.
Except maybe to bring out Warmington's response to the people's protest.
Yeah, but no. I was chuckling when you were doing it.
Yes.
So here we have invalid excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have the environment under threat.
Yeah.
But then this is such a wonder. Look at this picture. So here's the minister.
Picture of the day.
Yes, the minister.
Daryl Vaz.
Yes.
Technology.
Has on this thing. So they're monkey see, monkey do, monkey don't hear. Is that what it is?
No.
I couldn't resist it. I could not resist.
I love the fact that you said monkey.
Yes.
Because you could have gone with the three blind mice.
Yes.
But you went with monkey. And you mix them, because you say monkey see, monkey do, monkey don't hear, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the three blind mice that you have the three blind mice and you have the monkeys.
Yes.
And you went for the monkey. You need therapy. I would say Pastor need therapy. But yes, Minister Vaz has been photographed having an AI experience.
Mm-hmm.
This is after his colleague done sound the warning about the AI propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
He's having a virtual reality experience and he's been photographed with the headset on and, he has the gear in his hand. And I'm sure if he had realized they were taking his picture, he would have put a stop to it. It's not a good look. And it allowed Percy to say that being hooded over the eyes and the ears.
The reality is out there.
It's a commentary
Yes.
on the entire government.
Oh
boy.
That's in serious.
Have you ever tried it? Have you ever tried one of these? VR experience?
Mm-mm. But then Apple has come out with a piece of equipment that $3,500 US. You heard about that at the recent show? It takes into a virtual reality. It is their new.
Put it on your head.
Put it on,
Yes.
and it's like you have your phone and your virtual reality and so on. So, and $3,500. Because
Then how Lowell not talking about it?
where they know me I talk about? Yes, man, $3,500. Yeah, $3,500 US. Fine.
Well, can I tell you that 3.5 costs less than traveling on the Virgin Galactica to go into space, because you can have a virtual reality experience moving in space, experiencing the same feelings, because hey, don't take this VR experience lightly, It is wired into your brain to trigger the same autonomous reactions that you would have if you were in the real environment. So, for example, the feeling of weightlessness, you'll have it. I remember one of the greatest benefits of having a child is that in your adult years, you are permitted to have the experiences along with them when you go to Disney and you go to the other places that with your childlike curiosity as an adult you can afford to go, but if you show up there by yourself, then they'll put a policeman to watch you. Well, the men for sure. They might do it for women nowadays. Like a grown man in a park where children are playing and he has no child in that park. What do they think?
A predator.
They think he's a predator.
Oh,
so there are some things that you do them at your own risk. But so we took Daniel to Disney, and one of the teeny tiny rides was this. It was a
simulator.
It simulated gliding. Do you remember Daniel? Yeah, Daniel is sitting with us for another 10 minutes because he has exams at 9. And good luck in your exams, my son. I bless you with instant photographic recall of everything you have studied. Amen? Amen. So we were going to, we thought you get into this contraption and it's like you're in a hang glider and you're soaring over the some valley in California. So it's mapped to show you exactly what the place looked like.
So it's a virtual reality.
And it's a VR experience. So, and you have to climb into the seat just like you're buckled into the glider. So, got into the glider.
You experience.
Oh yes, it's Minett, Lowell, and Daniel are doing this family activity, but it is really for Daniel. So, you get to. It really works with your depth perception.
Yes, right.
Yeah, so because we didn't have to put anything on our face, I don't recall. You step into the room, the screen is there, the whole environment is made to give you that look and feel, and you strap yourself into this, like you're strapping into the glider. Oh my goodness. As they start to move, your stomach drop. Daniel did not like it one bit. Mommy didn't like it to a lesser degree.
But Daddy enjoyed it.
Well, Daddy was cool. Daddy has to be cool. Who's going to take us out of this? Daniel did not like it. Daniel says he's going to fall. He kept saying, I'm going to fall. I feel like I'm... And I said, no, you're not falling. And Lowell, the logical one, now was trying to say, look, do you know, our feet were no more than maybe like a couple inches above the ground. If you stretch real hard, you could touch the ground. The only thing that was moving was the screen, the movement on the screen, and it elicited the same response. So these days now, it's a whole new world. You don't have to jump on a plane and go to Six Flags. You can just put on your headgear. In fact, I think, where had we gone? We went to a lab. I remember going into, was it Huawei or it was a Samsung? Went into a Samsung lab and put on the same headset that the minister is shown wearing, and engaged in some kind of battle where you're in a plane shooting at oncoming. Fact of the matter is, these experiences are as intense as though you were in the real situation, and I think medical professionals are going to have a whole new set of work on their hands for the overstimulated old people, young people. No, because anybody, as long as you can put it on your head and say, let's go.
Yeah, but you raised a thing in terms of the new challenges that are arising with all these new experiences.
Yeah.
That people are having that before you never had it before. But now we are dealing with, let's shift with our children especially. A lot of our children have and are continuing to lose their social skills simply because they're so much into the games. You can't get them away from the game.
Because the games offer you a richer experience than ordinary life.
I hear that, but what about their social skills?
Why do you need it? Everybody else don't have it.
No.
The only people who gonna have it are their grandparents.
No, but I hear what you're saying, but you know where I'm going with it. So
I know where you're going,
yeah.
and I do agree with you.
Because they are so much into
I agree
the
with
games that they come out, and COVID proved that big time though, the lockdowns, when they have emerged, they're going, oh,
yeah.
It seemed so foreign to them. And then now, coupled with the fact that...
But Percy, you really do have to answer me, if nobody else has it,
no, but you say,
what's the purpose? Answer me that.
If nobody else has it...
Yes, if all of us are alike.
No, but the truth is not all of us are alike.
No, I'm saying we're talking about a generation of persons who are brought up under the same common experience. So what used to be required, you're going to interview for a job, you're coached to respond in a certain way because those who are hiring make their decisions based on those cues. But when those who are hiring are just like you, nobody's looking for those cues. It's like there was a particular skill that I rejected because I said in my future it don't exist.
Which one is that? Typing?
No, I love typing. No, I won't tell you. I'll tell you that one off air. One summer my mom was trying to teach me something and I said, Mom, please, if I get this skill, the Lord may work it so that one day I have to reach for it. And it's not a skill that I ever plan to utilize. Let me not know how to do this because I never want to reach into my bag of tricks and say, you know what, this is a situation that calls for X. It could be anything, scraping cow skin, for example. Have you ever done that?
No.
Well, where I come from in the country, purchasing a rolled up thing of leather with the hair still on it and roasting it over a fire and scraping it with a knife was something I've seen. Would I do that? And one day have a husband who says, I feel for some of my grandma's cow skin and I actually know what to do? No, I must tell him go and visit grandma. I'm kidding on that.
No, you're kidding, but what you have...
On that specific experience, but I'm saying that...
But just generally what you're saying, so we are rated as social beings.
Yes.
Interacting with individuals and purpose. Now where we're going with this big push, AI is going to do a lot of stuff, things that humans don't have to do.
Don't bother bringing AI and make it seem like I am a proponent of AI.
No, I'm just saying in terms of what is out there.
Yes.
And then one of the things recently, there's no power. We'll just say, all of the instruments, all of the transactions that needed to happen, you couldn't do anything. They said, sorry, systems are down. And then to aggravate the situation, power went. Yeah. So there's darkness, and you're going and saying, okay, now,
what do we do?
How do we cope? And then you have been saying this, we're going to come back to a time of bartering. Yeah, because you have that, I remember that's what we used to do. We're moving along this continuum. Yes, a lot of things we have in cashless society, and we're going to come to a place where...
Yeah, we'll come full circle.
You remember the sheik? Remember the sheik who said it?
Camels on the horizon.
Yes.
You gotta love Earl Brown. Good morning, Earl. Earl said cow skin jelly.
Yes. So that's what it is about. But
oh my gosh. No, but somebody remembers.
Yeah, but that point in terms of our young people, what has happened to them over the last 2-3 years with lockdown and the increase in mental health issues, I think it is related to the fact that you're at home, you're not socializing, some of the things you learn by just interacting, even in terms of, they say in the early phases, you need to learn to play because play is how
motor
the
skills
and motor skills.
Fine motor skills develop through certain activities.
Social activity,
But,
learning how to
but that
teamwork and things.
That knowledge won't go away, Percy. That knowledge won't go away. There will still be a need for it at some level.
Yes.
And those who have the knowledge and the secret and the skills will still be relevant at the time when it's needed. But it's one of the things that will continue to exercise our minds is how much of the past do we hold on to when the future is beckoning with new opportunities and new skills are required. There's always that period of transition, and we are in that place of transition, I admit it. But I remember like my mom trying to teach my son how to read a clock. You know, the dial-up one with the numbers.
You're teaching
up to a certain
Daniel
point.
to read the clock.
Yeah. Up to a certain point. Just wanting to say, something. I'm like, only when he comes to grandma's house, he sees one of these. Everything else is digital. What is the value? I've had to think deeply about it. What is the value of teaching a skill that has been made redundant by the march of technology? And I'm not saying there are some things which are interesting.
And so we have to take our break.
Yeah, we got the queue. That queue has been the same.
Yeah, it doesn't change.
It always be the same.
They march forward.
All right, yeah, it's time to take a break.
Make an impact on your career. Earn real money. Get 3 to 4 local and international certification in practical nursing and early childhood education with free CXC or CAPE subjects in 6 to 12 months at Distinction College, located at 26 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 6 Nugent Street, Spanish Town, and Ocho Rios. Earn global certificates in 3 months in geriatric nursing, phlebotomy, childcare. We have the lowest school fees around. Classes begin very soon. Call us 356-41.
Shalom, this is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Join me every Sunday at 5 p.m. on 100 Bess FM, where we will discuss the truth. What's the truth, you ask? Jesus Christ said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. The truth is, brothers and sisters, that Jesus Christ is a black man. The prophets are black. The Israelites are black. And the people of Jamaica, that's right, the people of Jamaica are Israelites. Our people have been scattered throughout North, Central, and South America, and the west coast of Africa during the transatlantic slave trade. That's right, your church don't want to talk about it, but guess what? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the worst atrocity that happened in all mankind, according to the Holy Bible, according to Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15 through 16. So join us every Sunday on Bess FM at 5 p.m. Shalom.
BES 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show, Lascelles Butch Chen, on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing work in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
We are something special on the road.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how we do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Try to call them, guys. Trust me.
Good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
Nothing is impossible for God is a deliverance ministry dedicated to the preaching of the gospel and the healing of the sick. Heard on Bess 100 FM, Sundays at 12:30 to 1 with Reverend Neville Hutton Pastor. Your life will never be the same. Pray for the prayers and receive God's deliverance ministry. This program is sponsored by PJ Distributor at the corner of Main Street, Santa Cruz and Market Street. For prayer, call 828-4413. Luke 1:37, Jeremiah 32:17 said, nothing is impossible for God. God bless you, my friend.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. Again, we say welcome to you. We're at the Ligony Club, being taken care of by
Catherine.
Yeah.
Who has offered you up your ginger tea at my wonderful crystal punch.
Oh, I saw something plugged out and I was wondering.
No man, it's okay.
I'm good?
Yeah,
All
man,
right.
it's good. Right, so but I want that point I'm making, why I've raised it in terms of, okay, you have rightly put it in terms of the parameters. Okay, we are marching forward with technology and progress, correct?
Yes.
And now the question is, what skills do you hold on to? What skills do you let go of? Because there's no future for that. Even in terms of...
That one is obsolete.
Yes.
Truly.
But even for one of the growing industries here, which is BPO, and the advent of AI, as I was saying to you, was overhearing a conversation. My daughter was on a webinar yesterday, and the presenter was speaking about going into an interview, what skills are needed, and he gave an acronym which says that you need to be able to bring solutions to the firm, be able to innovate, bring your personality and something else. Yeah. And I was saying, okay, but he says, with all of what you do, you have to present yourself the right way. People are employing you. Make first an emotional decision and then back it up with the logical things that are there. So he says, you have to go into that interview and really sell yourself in terms of what changes you're bringing to the organization, what solutions you're going to be able to bring. And so even as we move forward in terms of BPO and BPO, the skills that are needed in terms of call center answering it, he was also saying that we need to move higher up the value chain in terms of what we're going to be offering, because with AI, artificial intelligence, some of the things that we do now, they are easily automated. You know, it called GPS, you call any of the telecoms, this is your time, press 1 and 2 and 3, and some of the time they're going on in circles.
Well, what's frightening is when there's no option that's immediately applicable to what you're trying to do, and it just locks you out. It just says goodbye. You have to start all over again. Going in circles might give you an opportunity, but I'm telling you,
we make it. But that is a serious thing, though, in terms of over 20 odd. How much people is employed in the BPO sector, and it is expanding. And I see where somebody saying they are making. I think Mr. Hale was going to make an announcement in short order about a new partner that is coming in BPO. But a lot of our young people are employed in the BPO sector. And we have to now be preparing to move further up the value chain, that there's greater monetary rewards that come to them. Because when you remember, you spoke about it, BPO is like 807.
Yes, and we know the experience of that.
Yeah, and these guys get up and move. Because even one of the ones that used to employ, they have cut staff here and moved to...
Because they follow the money. They go to the jurisdictions where the best incentives are on offer, and they can make the highest return on their money. And each season, different jurisdictions create a new raft of inducements to attract the business. I remember going to Panama some time ago and looking at what they were doing to attract the BPO investors. They were pretty much building. The government would build the facility in a plug-and-play model. So all you need to do is come with your equipment and your business model. And then you hire people. Their focus was so much on getting employment, getting people employed, that the government was prepared to just throw in. And then you get your many years of tax-free operations.
And then after the tax-free, let's get up and run.
So when you get that business is as secure as the duration of the incentives and as fickle as what your neighboring country is prepared to do to take that business away from you. As a consequence, smart planning would say, do not focus on the real estate portion of it, because you're going to be left with a lot of empty buildings. That has happened to us before. Focus more on training your population to offer the highest level of technical service so that it is harder for somebody to just get up and leave. Make it hard for them to go. We're not doing that because, for one, the motive behind our planning for the sector is to feed the pockets of big business, which is interested in selling support services and real estate. It's not about keeping the population employed at the highest level for the longest period of time.
Yeah, and you raise a point, and that's a good point, because it's interesting. I've been having conversations with some young people. And that's where I get a lot of men. That's why I look so young,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, and you're getting impartations from the young people. Just be careful. Some people get arrested for taking impartations from the young. Minett, behave yourself. Go ahead.
But they are coming to the realization, as we have said, that we're still running a plantation economy here in Jamaica.
Well, listen.
And this is young people now, talking about people who have recently graduated from university and who are saying, I'm cutting and going because it's not cutting it.
What's happening here doesn't have a place for me. Well, you've heard me say that we place zero value on human worth.
Human resource development.
In this country. That's what I see. And in many ways, that has been my experience. Human beings are devalued unless you have some history, family name, established power base that you can draw on. Your value is zero. Something were to happen to you and the government had to say, well, we've lost an asset. What do we take off the balance sheet? Oh, it's a human being, zero. That loss means nothing. In fact, they say, our expenses will go down because we no longer expect her to show up at the hospital for this service or at the pharmacy for this drug or whatever we're giving her. And we can take her many children off path because now there's nobody to organize getting that help. That's the harsh reality of this country. When you listen to the people who call us, and And even if it's not their personal experience, it is their observation of what happens when Jamaicans go out to buy food. I spoke with a lady from my community yesterday, and she shocked me with this comment. She said, money is tight. Money is so tight. I went to the supermarket, and the cashier neglected to cash the most expensive item on my list. And where I picked it up instantly because I had budgeted and I know I should be spending X amount. And when she rang up the stuff, it was less than I thought. And she said, she didn't struggle, but she said she really had to take a decision to bring it to the lady's attention and say, you didn't charge for something. And it turns out she had to go back over and she saw where, she hadn't charged for something. But we were discussing a moral dilemma. And we were talking about the many ways in which we are challenged to maintain our integrity.
That's true.
And she was saying, here I am, woman of a certain age and experience. I am at the counter, I'm purchasing, my household goods, and the cashier neglected to pay for something. And I had the option of just going home with the money. But she said she couldn't do that. She brought it to the young girl's attention. And she had thought it through, because I said, oh dear, that poor girl would have probably have to pay for it. She said, no, because it was not taken into account at all. One day when they are doing inventory, they would realize that, we're short one bag of whatever. It was dog food. And dog food not cheap.
Dog food is not a cheap thing. Yeah, but that and so the comment that a listener makes, and he is trying to connect the dots, even though some of the time he goes on.
Yeah.
And I think we've been saying it from day one. Leadership in this country is elected to provide an environment that people can thrive and prosper in. You need to
survive with dignity.
Yeah. You need to put in place the things that will enhance and make it better, not for a few, but for all of we. And if that mindset does not change in terms of where you put your resources strategically, and don't seek to develop what I call a welfare state, but develop a state that is entrepreneurial in nature, that operates from a basis that there's more than enough. So if you take from this person, you're not affecting, but there's more than enough.
If you give to one, it's not because you have taken from another.
Right.
There is enough.
And there are some political thoughts that have economic things that are out there that speak to that.
Of course.
Yes, and that's why I'm a Christian.
Me too.
Me too. Me know. Because my God is a God of it more than enough.
Of abundance. And Earl is making a point here, which I know, there are many things about Cuba that I absolutely love. He's saying, in Cuba, if a person goes to the government and asks for a plot of land to farm, the government will give the land to the person, but you must farm. You must farm on the land.
It's true. And I remember too, you've been to Cuba, I've been to Cuba. And then over time, it was centralized planning. But by the time we got there, that's in the 90s, they had started to say, when the man have we call it, is hand in the game, we have a thing,
skin in the game.
Skin in the game, it was good for him because he then had an incentive to maximize and put in everything. So you have all of these farmers market that were just all over the place, and I went to a couple of them and I said, okay. And when they go to the supermarket, which is and there's nothing there. They go to the farmers market where a man have a
that's where the bartering will take place too, from stall to stall.
Yeah.
When you go home, you can have if you are a farmer, you have everything that you need.
Yes. All right, I give you that one too. So, but the idea of governments having a philosophy that enhances and facilitates every single person in this country And moving away from a plantation economy mentality is crucial. It will turn this country around in a significant way if you make those policies. You see, so this thing about land, this thing about land is not a
pie in the sky.
It's not a pie in the sky.
Romantic notion. And it will get done,
No, it has to be done.
It will get done. It will get done.
Because
I must share a gem with you from Delroy Henry.
Mm-hmm.
He says, integrity is telling yourself the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And honesty is telling the truth to other people. That's the
true.
Thursday gem.
That's true. But
I love that one. Hi,
integrity
Delroy.
is?
He said, tell yourself the truth.
Yeah.
Be true to self.
And honesty is telling the person.
Telling other people the truth.
It is true.
It's a nice.
No, but people might be saying, because we were laughing at the headline this morning, but not the same thing again. You go back to that.
Yeah.
What I was just laughing and I'm saying to myself, why? This is just so I see it and I say, that's the government. They put on their virtual reality.
Yeah, Earl says if a person can afford to buy dog food, that person is not.
Yeah.
My father used to give dog turned cornmeal. He wouldn't know that turned cornmeal is a very
nice food now.
Oh, please.
Have you ever gone to places in some restaurants? That's a specialty now. Turned cornmeal, properly seasoned.
It's now called polenta, Earl, just so you know.
Polenta come from another country.
Yeah.
From the Latin American country.
Cornmeal.
We know it's cornmeal, but,
right.
But it's cooked very well.
So now when we are serving it in the restaurant,
it's called
we say polenta.
No, in a real Jamaica, they say stone cornmeal with season,
okra and salt, fish
and all of them things. It's a real delicacy.
And serve with a fish head, yes. And, well, you give it to the dogs. The dogs deserve to eat well also.
And then protect you.
Now there's no difference. If you're buying dog food, it is, I don't even know. Because some of these dogs, if you give them bones and leftovers, it damage their health as well.
If
you really love your dog, you feed them properly.
Yeah, but that thing. So it's interesting, and I was thinking about it. Going back to that teacher who is on her way out, and she says to me that, and I want the minister to hear this.
Which one of the minister?
Minister of Education. Minister of Education. When a minister of education comes and says to us, oh, we're going to do vocational in
primary school.
We're going to go there and shift it. And you are, and a lot of your schools don't have vocational enough to do resources that
the infrastructure to accommodate it. You wonder what she's really talking about. I worry that they're trying to under-educate our children. I don't. Let me tell you, Percy, when the first time that I read this initiative and the minister falling behind it so solidly, I said, yes, they have given up on educating the children and now they just want to train them to do something useful. That's what I thought. I did not see it as the noble initiative that they perhaps intended to be, because for a long while we've been part of a generation that undermine the value of trade skills. You know, we had a system of education where you just said the dunce children are the ones who need to go learn a trade. And parents even say to their children, we're not sending no money, sending you to higher education because you need to go learn a trade.
And that is how they sound, trade.
And trade become the other word for the thing you do when you don't have brain.
You don't have no brain.
And they tell you things like your mind not good and all kind of different ways people manage to give you the impression that you're dunce. So when she announced that they wanted to introduce vocational training at an earlier level in the education system and talking about all the science behind how it is a broader based style of educating people when you get the hands and the brain moving together, I thought this is disingenuous. There's no real intent to give people that kind of all-rounded education that makes you a more useful person. I find it distractingly unpleasant to meet a grown man who can't change that car tire, or something happen in your house and you have to, everything that happened in your house, you have to call a tradesman to come in. There's a leaky pipe. You don't have a clue what to do when these things happen. To me, you're like a useless person. I do not
that's
care.
What you think?
That's what I think. And maybe I've been spoiled. Maybe I sound like you are not handy.
Disagree with you.
You're not handy in the house?
I can handy to do something, but my point with it simply is the time I'm gonna take to figure out some of the things. Like
no, you talk about some of the things. I'm not saying that you must jump up and do electrical wiring.
No, but even with some of the
and dig
things.
up the backyard to find the leaky pipe. No, there's some things that, and you remember how basic I started? Can you change your car tire?
Of course.
Good. So you're not amongst those who are unpleasantly distracting. I'm just saying, there are some persons, Percival, who at the slightest thing, if the bulb blow, somebody have to come change the bulb. They
That's ridiculous.
They have zero interest, zero ability, and in those houses, sometimes it's the wife have the tool bag.
You're saying there's something wrong with that?
Something wrong with that.
All right.
You don't think there's something wrong with that?
You don't think so?
You don't think something wrong with somebody who can't handle basic things?
No, but it's a change a light bulb. I think that's really close. Everybody can change a light bulb. Even a kid can change a light bulb.
True, but do they have a ladder?
No, you stand up on one chair.
And not all chairs can get you to the height of the bulb.
I did. We always up my pick. Yeah, take it.
All right, we woke up. As you can see, I'm married to a very skilled, and perhaps I am now spoiled.
No,
but the point I'm making is that there should be no sharp divide between the two worlds. You should be an overall useful person who, even if you can't do it physically, you know what's to be done, and you could instruct someone else. When problems occur around the home, you have an idea. It could be this or that, because you have that level of understanding of the world and your environment. That's my point. So I don't believe that those who are scholarly should be in some padded room, relaxing and thinking big things. And if the pillow they're lying on fall apart, they can't sew it back. We must have balance. So it is good that in the education system, we are preparing persons to be able to function in a world where you need your brain as much as you need your hands.
I need AI.
AI?
Fix it.
Oh, AI. Yeah, but these days, you a robot can ask.
A robot.
Yeah, but you better know what to do when the robot goes.
And drop down. That's the thing. That's the thing with it. But I actually.
Or try to give it artificial resuscitation.
Oh boy. So we laugh at these things, but finish your point because you're making a very important thing. Yeah.
So when I heard, the policymakers say this is a direction, I start to fret that, oh dear Lord, now they're gonna hasten the children to come out and be housekeepers and domestic workers, and because that is the way. When you talk about the plantation, that Jamaica's still running that way. That's the future that they see for our children. We have to beat them away from that.
And so when they're talking about STEM, you think there are ulterior motives there?
No.
Motivation.
We'll go to STEM.
Yeah.
How does STEM fit in with that idea? Because STEM is scholarly.
Mm-hmm.
STEM is understanding the science behind how things work.
Mm-hmm.
STEM is not teach a man by rote how to carry out a basic task and leave him to function in that narrow confine. Most tradesmen need to develop expertise in their area, and some of them, some of the finest tradesmen don't need to be literate. They work and learn by a method of apprenticeship, and they function excellently in that level. But are they going to be tomorrow's project manager?
No.
And that's my fear. I just do not want, I don't want us to approach education with the same mindset that we have done. We've done it for the last 60 years. And instead of creating an environment of excellence and growth, we end up with our people stunted at some levels which they can't escape.
Which is one of the quotes of my favorite lady as we go to the break. Lasandra Harrison says, what is our philosophy of education in this country?
I rest my case.
Okay.
All right, we'll take a break.
You're simply the best. You're simply the best.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
I'm Debbie Russ with the BBC News. Hello. Britain's former Prime Minister Boris Johnson has been found to have misled Parliament and undermined the democratic process. He'd been accused of going to illegal social events during coronavirus lockdowns, but denied doing so in the House of Commons. Now, a report by a committee of MPs has ruled that these denials were a lie, that Mr Johnson knew he'd broken the rules and that he'd then attempted to intimidate the committee investigating him. Rob Watson at Westminster says the excoriating verdict puts Mr Johnson's political future in doubt.
25 years ago, when Boris Johnson burst onto the scene, it was as this incredibly funny, witty presenter of a TV programme called Have I Got News For You? Then, of course, we get to the referendum, which was a deeply polarising event where he led on the Leave side. And it brings us to where we are now, which is from that sort of politician who could reach the parts that other politicians couldn't, to this guy who is now kind of profoundly polarising. And I think that's probably why he's going to struggle to make any comeback.
Boris Johnson has dismissed the report as deranged and described the committee as beneath contempt. But so far, only a few members of Parliament from the governing Conservative Party have offered support. The campaign group, which represents families bereaved by COVID, said that Mr Johnson should be barred from public office for life. Gale force winds and heavy seas are pounding the coasts of northwestern India and southern Pakistan as a powerful cyclone approaches. Emergency response teams have been deployed and tens of thousands of people taken to storm shelters ahead of the arrival of Cyclone Biparjoy. Asif Shirazi is from the aid group Islamic Relief.
65,000 people have been evacuated and they are in a makeshift arrangements or on the government buildings. And today the cyclone is going to hit. We all know that last year we had a mega floods and the flood is also in the province and in the southern areas.
A Canadian who worked as a senior employee at a multinational bank based in Beijing has fled China, fearing for his safety, after criticising the institution's operations. Michael Bristow reports.
Until earlier this week, Bob Pickard was the communications chief for the Asian Infrastructure Development Bank, which loans money for projects across the continent. He resigned and then accused the bank, of which foreign countries are members, of being controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. He made those allegations after fleeing China for Japan, or the free world, as he put it. Canada has now halted its involvement with the bank, which described Mr Pickard's comments as baseless and disappointing.
Beijing city government has announced its healthcare system will cover the cost of a number of fertility treatments to try to boost China's birth rate. 16 procedures, including IVF, will be covered by people's health insurance. BBC News. The Ukrainian Defence Minister is in Brussels to brief a NATO meeting on his country's counter-offensive against Russian occupying forces. Alexei Reznikov was embraced on his arrival at NATO headquarters by the US Defence Secretary Lloyd Austin, who praised the bravery and skill of Ukraine's military. It's emerged that hundreds of churches have been targeted during weeks of deadly ethnic violence in the Indian state of Manipur. The BBC has seen documentary evidence of the attacks. There's been no comment from the state authorities. Swaminathan Natarajan reports.
Clashes broke out in early May after moves to give tribal status to the dominant Meitei community, who are mostly Hindus. The changes would give Meiteis access to forest land and quotas in government jobs. Other, mainly Christian tribes, are worried that they may lose control over their ancestral forest dwellings. One Indian media report suggests more than 250 churches have been targeted in a single district.
The Oscar-winning former British actress and politician Glenda Jackson has died at the age of 87. Her career took off in the 1960s when she appeared naked in Women in Love, the film of the D.H. Lawrence novel. She won one of her 2 Oscars for the role, which established her as one of Britain's foremost acting talents. One of her most famous and acclaimed roles on television was in 1971 as Queen Elizabeth I in the BBC series Elizabeth R.
I have no love for Rome, as well you know. But we must exercise great care and circumspection. Religious observance is a personal matter. Spiritual needs vary from person to person. I have no wish to open windows into men's souls.
Later, with her acting career waning, she became a Member of Parliament for the Labour Party in 1992 and served for more than 20 years. That's the latest BBC News.
Ready for the war here, oh yeah. Ready for the war.
Yes, Jamaica and the world. You want us back? We are back. The Breakthrough Deliverance Ministry, led by me, the Prophet Mark Stewart, right here on Bess 100 FM. This and every Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Yes, it's War Room Thursday. Come on out and join us, each and every one, on Bess 100 FM. 100.1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Come on out. Join me, the Prophet, Reverend Mark Stewart, and of course, the boss shot, Apostle Marshall. Come for your healing, breakthrough, deliverance, the prayer, the miracle, the word, the testimony, and so much more. Yes, my friends, Bess 100 FM, Bess 100 FM, War Room Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Join us. We are going to lick it.
Ready for the war here. Ready for the war here.
Hello. Pastor Howard Palmer here, coming to you from New York City this and every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's right, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. this and every Saturday morning, right here on Bess 100 FM. Don't you miss it.
Do you remember, Jolo?
Yeah, man.
Well, guess what? I allow it 4 to 6 every Friday.
Boom shot.
On Bess 100 FM.
Boom shot.
You ready?
Yeah, man.
You ready?
Yeah, man.
Well, I eat that.
I love it. Which part today?
Tune in, beloved people. With that funny. Bless you.
Bess FM. Go.
Virtual Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Virtual Printers, your best choice in printing.
And love more.
Live, camera, volume. Live it up Fridays on Bess 100 FM. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with I, Ibi Lion, each and every Friday. Giving you the better vibes heard everywhere.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
We are something special on the road.
Half a two. Ready, 200. Ready, mama. Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, at 2 months now, my transmission mash up, you know, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss. I'm trying to call them guys. Trust me. Ah, what a relief.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on BES 100.
It's good. It's better. But nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. Always a pleasure to be here on Free Flowing Thursdays. Just give some love to the staff of the JD's Urban Pub Restaurant. They're having a full house this morning. So I got to keep showing them love so they keep some of the local Jamaican breakfast for us.
And just to say hello to the staff of the Ligani Club also, people like Roxanne.
Yes, Miss Roxy at the front desk.
You know, she's one of my favorites. But
yes, well, now so do all the listeners on BES 100 FM. The club really is meant to give you a family experience. So if you come here and you don't feel like you're at home, and good home too, not home where you have cascas.
No, we don't have cascas.
Home where you're treated with hospitality and love. We still manage to get that done here. It is hot.
I want us to, even as we were talking about education.
You close with that question that was posed.
We do.
What is the philosophy?
Yeah, what is the philosophy of education for Jamaican? And on 3 occasions, the outgoing president of JTA, because they've had an election, and they only had one.
So isn't she still the sitting president?
She's sitting president, but
why you call her outgoing?
Because by July she.
By that token, we're all outgoing.
Yeah. But they only had one candidate this year for the.
So
the president elect
unopposed, and she did not offer herself for re-election.
But. Explaining to me that for them, they call their high school a gymnasium. But for every child that goes through their high school system, it is important that every child, whether you eventually become a doctor, engineer, or a tradesperson, a member of the guild, you're exposed at least for a year to some area and you begin an apprenticeship to see how this thing works out and what you do. So therefore, when you were making light about being able to do something in the home, like change a light
Was I
bulb,
making light?
making kind of funny.
No, I was not per se. I was very serious about it. I said that I find persons who cannot do basic things around the home that require some, technical skill. Useless.
Change a light bulb. I call a person useless. We say Jamaican and Baffan.
Baffan. Is that another word for useless?
Baffan. But it's just that we need to decide.
But you're talking about Germany. Mm-hmm. Germany, even before the trauma of Second World War, Germany was a powerhouse in innovation and engineering. A trade in Germany, I think they had a more established culture of building excellence in craftsmanship than even coming out of the guilds of London or in the UK. When I went to Germany, they showcase their history in building excellence in craft. They showcase it. There's a city with the head offices of the various guilds, and the history of every different stream of is honored and on display. So it's not a new thing.
So it's not if you can't manage a scholarly thing, go do that. At least.
No.
That's not.
They understand that great economies, prosperous and successful societies are built on the knowledge and the skill of those who can create things. It's not who's sitting in the university and thinking up big thoughts and writing reports and whether they're final or draft. It's not that. It is those who the architecture, and you can see it when you see the size of the buildings, the depth of planning that goes into maintaining the city structure. All through Europe, you see it, that science, engineering, technical skills
is an important part
create
of
the place.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we're in agreement. We, for our country, need a philosophy of education. And people, I'm not saying that the Singapore model taken whole scale and put in Jamaica solve a lot of our problems, because they have a different mindset in terms of certain things. But one of the things, though, is that they invested in their persons. The people of their country say, boy, we don't have much enough, but let's invest in the people and look what they are.
Well, me think everything starts with the people.
Yeah, but I'm in agreement.
It starts with your people.
But I think that come from somebody that we know very well.
You mean the creator?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, he says everything starts with the people because he created us in relationship. Yes.
We're the centerpiece. And any government that don't see their people as the centerpiece of the society, of the economy, has made a terrible mistake and will pay for it. Unfortunately, when they pay, it means we pay.
Oh, jeez.
And I want to separate myself from my piece of the bill.
But you take a piece of the 109 trillion, though.
What is that connected?
Yeah, in terms of reparations.
Well, because you know that there are few things that I do with the motivation of reward and pay. Well, because you know that there are few things that I do with the motivation of reward and pay in the coin of man. Being relevant, yesterday I was saying to a principal, my son's principal, she is the only person in the region who is a member of the World Gifted Council, and her specialty is working with gifted and talented children, which admittedly will always be a small cohort.
Okay.
You will never have a big school of gifted and talented, because persons with those kind of capabilities are few.
Okay.
And no matter how you look at it, if you have a room full of bright people, there's somebody going to be, the top 10 is going to be a step above the other 90.
We understand that.
Yeah, so it's always going to be small.
So we mark on the curve.
Yeah, so she was, just tracking a little of the history of struggling to maintain a program that can really do something different for students who require something different. You know, the irony of life is that we will recognize and do something for those who are disabled, but those who are higher abled had better be able to afford it. That's a bit of an irony, because those who have greater abilities can contribute so much more to transforming a nation, a society, an economy, if they are given room to flourish. But typically...
You're talking about the geniuses?
Yes. But typically, if we can't accommodate them, if we can't afford to give them what they need, their ability gets perverse, and some of the masterminds of the criminal underworld are really, really smart people who ended up turning their talent into some other avenues. And we've seen it, because I know you yourself have spoken of the disruptive children who were just really smart people who you couldn't keep up with them, and so they just entertained themselves making trouble.
Yeah.
And before you know it, society pigeonhole them, reject them, and you know, you have an insurrection going on in some community where they've created their own, they've established their own society. But I digress. When it comes to education and the path that we take for our children, I share your view that the philosophy must be one that is established on fundamentals that work for the best of the society and the individuals too, because some of us know the football jocks who the school only see them based on their performance in that area and deny them the opportunity or don't push them to excel in other areas that are needed when they leave school.
Mm-hmm.
And you see them around the place, unfortunately, not doing so well. Their days of glory are over.
You use them.
And we've used them and set them aside.
And it is a pet peeve of Dr. Lascelles Muggy Graham, a Casey old boy, who says, you know, we have to fix this school system. We have this glorified thing with Manning Cup and champs and the other sports. And then what happened to the majority of the teams after you have finished. And on that note, I just want to acknowledge that in the national team, you have a 17-year-old who has been selected to play in this friendly leading up to Gold Cup. His name is Dujan Richards.
Okay, because I was going to say, when you say national team these days, you know, you have to be gender specific.
No. National football reggae boys, they are now in Qatar getting ready to play. Jordan. He's there as a 17-year-old.
Exciting.
Yeah, he's there.
17 years old.
He was a standout forward.
Wow.
And the coach, which is a how do you pronounce this? Al Grimson? Emir Al Grimson?
Emir Al Grimson.
Yes. Who is a Norwegian. He says of the young man, you have physical strength, you have speed, along with a really good left and right foot. In that package, you have a highly confident 17-year-old who's a goal scorer. So it's rare that you have all of that in one packet.
Wow.
And he's been good in the training session. So congratulations to that young man who has been signed to the Chelsea Academy. But congratulations to his mom, who has nurtured it and
his dad. No
physics. Yeah.
No mention of dad with Father's Day coming up.
No.
What for you? I must ask you this. What is the ultimate Father's Day experience?
For me?
Yes.
I think when my daughter did this thing for me, she says, "You're the goat." My daughter called me a goat.
She tried to curry you?
And say, "I'm going to cook you for dinner for Father's Day." No, she says, "You are the goat." I says, "What?" So then she says, "Greatest of all time."
Was that your first experience, your first exposure to goat?
No, I've heard about the expression before, you know.
But when she said you're the goat, you said, what?
Yeah, but you go and I'm saying, what you was talking about? I never relate. And then I said, oh. So I'm looking forward to Father's Day. And for me, it is not only about my biological children. It is persons who have mentored, or even to one of my sons who is incarcerated at this time. It's not my biological son, but I took him on and mentored him. That was like a stop.
Oh.
Because he came and he thought we were making headways with him. Go and talk to young people in different schools and I bring him along about his story of overcoming what has happened and then hear that. But
well, you know that the enemy is always throwing obstacles in the way.
So
when is he coming out?
About another 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Before we take the break, I just want to get serious for a moment. We are having a guest from JPS, and it is serious business. Every year, it is the longest, it is the only season that we have, hurricane season.
From June to November.
Yeah.
June 1 to November 30th.
One of our regular guests, Mr. Shamar Harrison, is going to be joining us. He is one of the, he's a member of the corporate communications team. He is an assistant, the corporate communications team. And there are some fundamentals that JPS wants to keep front of our brain as we have entered the Atlantic hurricane season, June 1 to November 30th. And believe me, every day of it counts. I can remember hurricanes taking their lining up on the 30th of November.
Like they were waiting. I said, okay, this will open the door. We get ready to come through.
One or two even breached the 30th and gave us December horrors. And we should have told it that it had no place here, that its time was up. But, you know, it don't work like that. It started during the season and we had to live with it in the early days of December. So NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, is forecasting a range of 12 to 17 named storms. Storms are weather systems with wind speeds of 39 miles per hour or higher. And of those, 5 to 9 of them could become hurricanes with wind speeds of 74 miles per hour or higher. So just to give you a sense, as we talk about STEM and persons being numerate and understanding certain things, we're talking about storms which come with a lot of water, but with wind speeds still formidable, 39 miles per hour. If something hits you at 5 miles per hour, you feel it, much less 39 miles per hour. And of the total maximum 17 possible weather systems coming our way, 5 to 9 of them, well more than half of them, 3/4 of them, could become hurricanes. So Shamar is going to be sharing with us what JPS has been doing to prepare for the season and just to remind customers of some of the things that we can do to prepare and to ensure our safety. And I immediately remembered those 2 big trees that required.
It ran through my brain.
Let me tell you.
I saw her on Sunday. This is Jay.
If either of those trees fall across Long Lane, Percy, you cannot get down. You had to go up to you. Yes, and if that alternate road get into trouble, because I think that alternate road
about trees too.
Yes. So
that happened recently since we've been here. That there's a hurricane and trees fell down that road.
But even if we think about the Tavistock horror, no hurricane, no weather system involved, and the slippage at the hillside blocked the road.
Wow.
So, yeah, important. When that segment comes on, please listen and take seriously. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that every year the Lord has spared us. And so he spares us until we have all the right knowledge of what to do. When we have the knowledge of what to do, we need to do it. All right. Is that enough of an introduction? Serious business with the hurricane season. Oh, wow.
Are you kidding us?
We'll get to meet Shamar. But,
no, the unicorn?
The unicorn.
Unicorn is on his way?
All right, the producer is teaching us some manners. Oh, not on his way. He's here.
He's here.
Yay!
Finally.
All right. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to take our break now because Shamar is here and we want to tease him a little bit before it's time to be on air. And it is 8:30 on the nose. Are we taking our break now, Mr. Producer? Yeah? All right, good. We'll be right back.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss. I'm trying to call him because trust me. What a relief.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama, in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray. Or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
We are standing in the Glory Connect. Join us on Bess FM with Apostle Prophetess Denise Wellington and Pastor Alicia Gonzalez Morgan. Every Saturday at 4 p.m. on Bess FM Radio. Come out and discover your purpose. Take up that phone and dial now. Call and experience something new. Experience something great. Experience your own expression of encountering the supernatural glory of God's abundant life and transformation being fulfilled. What are you waiting for? Are you depressed, oppressed, worn out, tired, or stressed? Have you discovered your true purpose as yet? This is the moment. What are you waiting for? Connect now to Glory Connection. Call and experience the Word of God, intercession, healing, and deliverance. Experience something great. Receive salvation and breakthrough. Connect. Tell a friend, family, and your neighbor. See you then.
Make money now with the local City and Guilds and ABE endorsed certificates and Distinction College. Start new online and face-to-face classes very soon in our Make Money Now career courses and get qualified jobs worldwide or start your own business in practical, pediatric, geriatric, and psychiatric nursing, phlebotomy and pharmacy technician, early childhood education, child care, cashiering, call center, event planning, receptionist, customer service, housekeeping, waitering, food preparation, bartending, cake baking, plumbing, motor vehicle, electrical installation, air conditioning, makeup, hairdressing, nail technician, and cosmetology. No subjects required, no age limit. Register this week and get City and Guilds Maths and English classes for free. Call us at 3564167.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess 100.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Yes.
Good morning and welcome back. We are exceptionally delighted, and you can tell from the big smile on my face, to have with us at the table Mr. Shamar Harrison. Now,
Shamar, welcome, Shamar. I hope I am not taking a tinge of envy or jealousy, because I've always had these moments. So I'm saying, my dear friend, Minett, enjoy yourself.
But you know, Percival, that we have a philosophy of abundance, not lack, so there's no jealousy. Just joy.
Shamar has finally joined us. Welcome,
Shamar has joined us. JPS has a man on their team who they will send out to do interviews. It's wonderful to have you here. You know that behind your back I've called you the unicorn.
I've heard it, yes. You've said it to me. So
Yeah? Oh, okay.
I accept it. It's fine.
Yeah, but welcome. We appreciate JPS's seriousness in being a part of speaking to the nation on matters of importance. And all the people who say, what season does Jamaica have? We know we have hurricane season for sure.
Yes.
And it's here. What is happening in JPS as we prepare?
So the hurricane season is something that we prepare for on an ongoing basis. So most of what we do to strengthen our grid, to ensure there are enough supplies and resources, we do that all the time, but that helps us when the hurricane season is. At the beginning of the year, though, we do sort of interhire or Central Emergency Operating Center does coordinate most of the matters and the processes that would relate to getting us ready for the hurricane season. And most of that has to do with ensuring that when it comes down to restoration, that we have all the tools necessary, people are trained, that people are not without power for an extended period.
So with the current emphasis on minimizing the outages that occur, when you layer on the possibility of disruption from the weather systems, what level of preparation do the customers need to engage in? Because I know when you spend your time from day one preparing internally, you then have to deal with us. What is the level of preparation that you require of us?
All right, so one of the important things, and this, we advise that you do this before you hear that the system is coming. Right? If you hear the system is coming at least 48 hours before, so you're not caught doing this
in the last,
the system is coming. This has to do with vegetation management. So it's one of the things that we do increasingly from the beginning of the year, and as the system, as the season approaches, we do it more and more. But for customers with trees on their properties, it's important to trim them.
Or cut them down.
Especially before the season comes. And it doesn't have to be a cutting situation. Just ensure that you're not touching the lines, and that if you do have heavy rains and wind, that they won't break and fall on the line. And if it's something that you do regularly enough, every few months you're doing, try to maintain it. One, you would have to be scoring at the last minute, and two, the chance of you needing to cut down the trees is a lot. It's major.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that we've been doing in terms of the public space, and we encourage our customers to do it privately.
So they call you. So okay. So for instance, like what you said, we're preparing and.
You're asking for a friend now?
Asking for a friend of a friend.
Asking for a friend.
So that if you observe that by this tree is getting out of hand, I can call JPS. So can I get some help here because it's on your lands, and they will come and help?
Yes, we expect and we recommend that you contact us, especially if the trees are already touching the lines. If they're close to already touching the lines, then contact us first to come and assist, because then that's a dangerous situation. But we're just encouraging persons to try as best as possible for it to be addressed before then, because it's not even just about the hurricane. So many things that can happen to cause tree contact with lines, and we've had situations that which we didn't as a result of that. So that's one thing that customers can do.
Yeah, so it's safety not just for the JPS system, but people safety
as well.
You know, I once saw a fire on my neighbor's property in a tree that was close to the line. I think we were the ones who ended up calling JPS. Huge fir tree on fire. Maybe the line busted. You know, that I think about
so many things that
Why
can
would a
happen.
tree
It
be
can
on-
cause outages.
Yeah.
It can cause the fire to move from one location
To
to
the
the other.
next. Yeah.
It can really be very problematic. But some of the other electricity related things you can do is to have a licensed electrician come and check, just to ensure that even the service wire, the connection from the pole to your pothead, that that's secure enough. Because if there are increased winds, then that can disrupt that as well.
Yes.
We'd also want to ensure that your family members know where the breaker.
So let me ask you this, because I know listeners are wondering if there is any insecurity in the attachment from the road to the pothead. Whose responsibility is that?
That's the customer's.
I see.
Unless it is at the point where it's connected to the pole, then
Yes.
we usually assist you take care of that. But the service wire connected to your pothead,
Yeah.
that's the customer's responsibility.
Okay, so but if we ask, just to be clear, if we ask our electrician to check that the pothead connection is secure, do they have anything at all to do with checking, or you check that as a matter of routine because you do have ongoing maintenance?
If in terms of the
On the
connection
other
to
side,
yeah,
yes.
man, we do those
Because it's
checks. So
connected
that's
at
a
both
part
ends.
of what we do regularly.
Yeah.
But it's important to just do that. And if for any reason you think there may be grounding issues or you're noticing anything, we do recommend at least once for the year you do have an electrician to come and check. But if you haven't, then this may be a good time to do so. And ensuring that your family members know where the breakers are.
In the home,
Because
yes.
if it is, for instance, there's an outage or you have to leave the location, you'd want to turn the breakers
off.
off, or if there's water there, there's flooding. So those are some of the electricity related things that you can do
We
to
need to
repair.
do as customers.
Some of the other things would be to stock up on first aid equipment,
Batteries and
iodine,
flashlight.
cotton bandages, but flashlights as well, because it's ideal to not have open flame. So candles, lamps, but we understand that in some circumstances it may be necessary. Just ensure it's not left unattended. But things such as battery powered lanterns can be good.
Okay.
So to try and have some of those, as you prepare.
Get ready. Because the hurricane season started. Because we have these rains recently.
Started June 1 and it goes until November 30.
Yeah.
Sometimes we forget that it literally lasts 5 months for the year.
Yes, right.
So it's almost half of the,
Right into
the
Christmas.
month. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's important to prepare because we've been ramping up our inventory, equipment supply. We've been having simulations, which we were speaking about before, to ensure that our restoration process is as seamless as possible. That every year we're learning based on past experiences. We've also been ensuring that team members are trained and ready because you will always have new team members that will come on that may not be as familiar with the process.
And these are documented processes. I mean, you're not.
It's not word of mouth.
So we have.
Bring up the old man from Hurricane Gilbert.
So we have.
That's a long time now. Hurricane Gilbert. Some people never born it.
I was.
She's not good things in them right, you know.
So we have plans, whether it be communication plans or policies and processes that are noted and they're followed and they're constantly improved upon to ensure that we're not just acting on a whim and that it's based on the lessons we've learned. And once it is you have a change in personnel, it should not impact the quality of
the continuity.
And customers, it's difficult when you're without supply and it may seem like, oh my God, JP is taking forever to restore. But there is a process to the restoration that has to be done. It can't be done any other way for it to be done safely. That is chiefly after the hurricane or a storm passes, we have to ensure that we do assessments to see what damage has been done to the infrastructure, because just trying to get you back online can damage the grid and cause damage to persons as well.
And make the horror last longer.
Only after those assessments, then we can actually start doing repairs to the system and then start restoring. The restoration is done based on critical hospitals, communication,
yes, remind our listeners,
NWC sites, pumps, and then we get to lines that serve the most customers and then to isolated areas. It can be frustrating when you're there for a few days and it may get 2 weeks. But there is a process and we try to be quick, but it has to be efficient and safe.
And I take it that over time, your process. Well, your process has been reinforced. The wisdom behind it.
It's been reinforced. It's also been improved, and it's not to say that there isn't room for continued growth, because there is. But when we compare it to other countries in the region, including the USA, what's happened in some states, our restoration process is more efficient on average, because you'll have states without electricity, sections without electricity for months after hurricanes and whatever. And it's not because they're developed and we're developing, it's just depending on the damage that has been done, it can take some time to restore processes as safely as possible. So what you do before is extremely important. We've been doing our part, and we encourage customers to do their part before the hurricane comes.
So are you heavily reliant on imported goods and services?
We are, and we are, because so many of the things that we use in terms of equipment, they are locally produced. They are based on the number of customers that we serve. We do need to ensure that we have on hand all of these things on hand. So when you think of not just poles and lines, but some of the new technologies that are attached to our grid, we do have to ensure that these.
And you have a tick in the box.
Right. And especially because during COVID there would have been supply chain issues.
Right.
So we had to ensure that there are new methods in place to ensure this.
May I ask you just an oddball question? Are there opportunities for manufacturing anything locally coming out of what you have seen?
There are always opportunities. Yeah. It's just, I guess it takes both the resilience, it also takes vision and innovation support. So the government, along with the private sector, you have to be brave enough, and I suppose you have to market as well. Actually produce some of these things locally. And yes, JPS is there. And we need
you're the one
and we need these things, but you have to be willing to go there, to dialogue, even if it's just with us. But there's always room for local manufacturing, and at least I believe personally.
Yeah.
So that's always a positive.
I want to just reflect on Gilbert.
Take the money into the prehistoric.
No, but I think that
I said Gilbert, but
Gilbert taught JPS a lot of lessons.
based on what I've seen.
Historical data.
Based on stories from persons. It's not that long ago. Based on stories from persons, yes.
Based on what is the time
because we're not around.
I wasn't around either. I was in Barbados.
Based on the damage that would have been done, based on what would have been needed to restore persons, and the grid wouldn't have been as extensive then, it wouldn't have been as resilient then. We had to learn lessons, yes, because I think Jamaicans, we sometimes become very complacent because we haven't had many direct hits.
Right.
Yes.
When we think about it, we say God has been so good, which he has. But at the same time, that sort of lulls us into this
false sense of security. Yeah.
Right. But Gilbert was definitely one for us to learn from. So yeah, we have learned from it. We
you still have Gilbert survivors on staff who says, well, when Gilbert hit.
I've heard stories.
Yeah, but it's true. It's true.
Could have a few.
Right.
JBS is celebrating 100 years.
Yes, we are.
Are you doing anything that celebrates this accumulated knowledge and in the area of just the very disaster preparedness that you're speaking about?
So we're doing in terms of linked to the 100 specifically.
Yes.
So we
100 years of surviving.
So we have the celebrations that are happening both among employees and with our customers to show appreciation for them sticking with us for so long.
Yes, please put us on your guest list.
But customers do have options, and a number of customers are now exercising those options. But I wouldn't say we're doing anything related to hurricane preparation that's specifically tied to the 100 because we're always improving and preparing. So it's not specific to this year, but it's an ongoing process. And for example, our simulations would have happened and there would have been a few glitches, as will always happen. And based on those, the teams would have then gone away to say, okay, this didn't work as well as we wanted them to. So we would have learned from what would have happened just a few months or weeks ago. So it's not specific to the 100th anniversary, but we are doing things to ensure that our preparation continues to improve every year.
So part of the preparation from us as customers, theatre look like, boy, you call JPS now.
Yes.
There's a 1-800 called JPS now.
Well, you don't use the one anymore with it's on the new development. So it's you can start with just a 888-225-5577, and that's if you're calling from a flow line, and then it's 888-935-5577 if you're calling from Houston. That's at a reduced estimate.
So repeat that again. So
it's 888-225-5577.
Right on that number.
That's if you're calling from a flow line. And 888-935-5577. And remember, importantly, the MyJPS mobile app is basically an office in your hands. And especially when we have weather systems that may cause disruptions, it's probably the mode of communication that you want to try first, because it will inform you of outages that you're already aware of. You can report outages, and you can do basically anything that you go into the office to do.
So I could upload a picture of the tree?
Yeah, so you can. So when you're making your reports, you can attach pictures just to provide us with more information. And
that picture of the trunk, that will prepare them for
most of the reports that you make, you can attach photos, and it's important because when we have emergencies, the phone lines may be bombarded, so it may be more difficult for you to get through. But through the app, you don't need to necessarily directly speak to somebody, but you see reports and then we act on it. So it's an important avenue to have and to use, especially in times like this, because
provided you have
we spoke about before the
provided you have electricity.
That's true, and that's understandable. So if you have no other option in terms of you have no electricity supply, no Wi-Fi or data, then we understand that you'd call. But if you do the app, and then you can also DM us on Facebook and Twitter, because I spoke about preparing for the hurricane, but during the hurricane, we ensure that we're communicating with our customers still. So traditional media, radio, television, and then social media and through the app as well. So we'll be giving updates as it progresses in terms of where we are with restoration, etc.
So is there a JPS bunker?
Yes and no. So for employees, everyone has a storm role during hurricanes. Separate and apart from what your typical functions are, everyone has a storm role that's predetermined. And I can use corporate communications as an example. There is a central location, I will give too many details away, a central location that's considered relatively safe and more immune to, say, outages or other issues that we may have persons from different areas staying at, to ensure that the flow of communication is easier, and if there is somehow, some situation,
everybody in the right area.
So there is a sort of bunker situation for employees, yes, because but you want to ensure that you're safe, you're physically safe, your equipment safe, so that
you bring your family,
you can serve customers even when
you bring your family, or you have to leave it there.
If it is necessary, sure, but typically it would just be for employees to ensure that we can serve our customers even when we have disruptions.
To your children at home.
But always it's just to ensure that both the employees and the families are. So yes.
One question. So recently had a 4-day lockdown.
The system's upgraded.
Yes. When you
in terms of our customers,
how is that? How is that now?
Well, it has been back up from the time we did commit to it being back.
I know, but what have you seen improvements in efficiency? What are customers saying?
So a lot of the improvements, as we've said before, would have been from our perspective in terms of things moving a bit smoother. And we have been seeing that things have been moving more efficiently. But that initial increase in efficiency will also allow for us to put additional systems in place that will benefit customers. So they'll see additional features in the app that are allowing them to do even more, which would have been linked to that upgrade. So we've been seeing the system moving more efficiently, and we're glad. Sometimes you do have upgrades, and at the end of it, there are some teething pains that linger for longer than you plan.
This one delivered.
This one delivered for you guys.
So we're
What you're saying is perhaps one of the best examples of how useful artificial intelligence can be and how the technology can interact with human agency to give a better experience to the customer.
There will always be apprehension with new technology, especially when you see movies or you have discussions about the dangers of AI.
Especially with old people.
No, because across the board, people will have concerns, whether it be security concerns or concerns about losing jobs. But with increased technological opportunities and as we learn more, there's also the increase in opportunities to make our lives or livelihoods even better. So it's just for you to investigate the options and opportunities that you're now presented with the new technology, and that's something that we're constantly doing, whether it relates to storage, to allow for increased backup systems, because our hybrid storage facility came a few years ago.
What is your hybrid storage?
So it's basically it's a battery storage facility that allows for extra megawatts of electricity to be available, especially when there may be a lull in renewables. Because, for example, if we're relying on the sunshine, if there is increased cloud cover, then there may be a decrease.
You're relying on wind.
There's some shortfall in terms of the generating capacity, then you'd have that as a sort of backup. And that has helped us in a number of situations. We're constantly exploring new ways of increasing the capacity that we have, because we want to ensure that customers always have supply. When we think about where we have come in terms of reliability, there has been great improvement, a reduction in outages in terms of frequency and duration.
So what is the comforting word for your customers regarding outages? Because they is this a question from a customer?
Yeah.
Well, technology is a little too efficient. Get some trees at Wilton Meadows. Is that in St. Anne? Oh, big trees that created a problem. Well, so it would be a research question mark? No. Oh, did we get pictures of it? Is that what this is?
No, that's your customer.
Oh, my customer says, the trees at Wilton Meadows in St. Anne need to be cut down.
need to be cut. Did they give any specific location, or you just trees in the area?
Would you give me the latitude? The customer is listening. Can I get the latitude and longitude for these trees?
No, just to have an idea in terms of driving directions.
Yeah.
But I will definitely pass it on to the team. Just
over. That meant something to you?
okay. And I'll definitely pass it on to the operations teams just to do a check to see where we need to do additional maintenance.
And to this customer's query, because it crossed my mind too. Sometimes it's not even about the trees falling on the lines, but it's the trees making access to communities impossible, which will even affect your team going in.
That's true. So sometimes we're hampered by the terrain, whether there be potholes in the road or just based on the location of the community. Sometimes getting there can be
hazardous.
So restoration does. We have to take that into
because you can't fly your equipment.
That's true. And we've had situations where communities may experience outages and the delay that they experience doesn't have to do with JPS infrastructure.
Access to the area.
So you have to be able to get there.
Landslides.
I'm going to ask you to spend 5 more minutes with us, please. Bonus minutes. Because we have taken some of your time and we really do want to get everything that we need from you. We're taking our station break now. It's we're on the break? No. Okay. All right. Time for the break.
You're simply the
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
And the world, you want us back? We are back. The True Deliverance Ministry, led by me, the prophet Mark Stewart, right here on Bess 100 FM. This and every Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Yes, it's War Room Thursday. Come on out and join us, each and every one, on Bess 100 FM, 100.1, 357 and 9. Come on out. Join me, the prophet, Reverend Mark Stewart, and of course, the boss shot, Apostle Marshall. Come for your healing, breakthrough, deliverance, the prayer, the miracle, the word, the testimony, and so much more. Yes, my friends, Bess 100 FM, Bess 100 FM, War Room Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Join us. We are going to lick
ready for the warfare. Ready for the warfare.
Hello. Pastor Howard Palmer here, coming to you from New York City this and every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's right, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. this and every Saturday morning, right here on Bess 100 FM. Don't you miss it.
Do you remember, Jolo?
Yeah, man.
Well, guess what? I allow it 4 to 6.
What?
Every Friday.
Boom shot.
And Bess 100 FM.
Boom shot.
You ready?
Yeah, man.
You ready?
Yeah, man.
Well, I eat that.
I love it. Which part today?
Tune in, beloved people. We're there on it. Bless you.
Bess FM.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
And love more.
Live, camera, volume. Live It Up Fridays on Bess 100 FM. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with I, Ibi Lion, each and every Friday, giving you the better vibes heard everywhere.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
We are something special on the road.
Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess 100.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
You know? Yeah. But I was just commenting in the break, and he spoke very much about as they prepare for the hurricane, the systems that they put in place and the protocols that you have, and everybody is commenting on the fact that some of those must have come from Hurricane Gilbert, because I remember as a young man, that was horrendous.
So, a number of them did, because we've had 3 systems since then.
Yes,
that would have impacted the island as much. So a lot of what we learned in terms of the restoration there and some of the difficulties would have informed successive plans and operations. It was a big barrier.
It was a big thing. But just one thing, and I need to say this, the fact that you've documented a lot of stuff, and even though you're a young person, somebody documented it, so when Shamar comes out, so we do that, and you go in this time.
You asked about the 100th anniversary earlier.
Yeah.
So this year especially, I've got the opportunity to interact with so much more of this documentation, whether in terms of pictures or magazines or the annual reports, just to see all that we've been through as a country, or that we've been through as JBS, or that we've accomplished. And it's also given me a new appreciation for what I do. So yeah, man, the documentation, when you look back at the pictures, at the plans, the policies, realize that we just don't exist now. We've been around.
You've been around. And that's why I asked it. I asked it because I could easily see a narrative emerging from 100 years of surviving. If there's one thing that's constant, is hurricane season and taxes.
In Jamaica.
It's bound to come.
That's true. That is true.
And you, with your excellence of documenting systems and sharing knowledge, I could see something emerging. So I leave that with you, because you're in the right division.
It's important as an
seminal
emergency service,
Yes.
you have to ensure that you're ready to act and that you're not just being reactive, but you're being proactive because people's lives literally
Depend on it.
Yeah. So documentation is an important part of it.
Yeah. Well,
So some friend of mine is going to call JPS because they have a tree that is out there, and no, that tree
Two trees. I think your friend has two
trees, and it's older than JPS, but the base of the trees are in
I hope after that call and after we've trimmed that there will be steps put in place, not just for those trees, but other plants.
Other plants are in good order. I
Sure,
can say with
they're being
confidence. Yeah, but those trees are intimidating. Those trees are national treasures. I mean, if persons were really honoring trees, they would say something you never cut down.
Yes.
You keep something of it to show that, hey, place been around for a long time. But they're quite close to the roadway.
and you know, it's kind of important, you know. So you can repeat the number that you can call.
So it's 888-225-5577, and this is from Flow 9.
Yeah.
888-935-5577. That's the calling from digital.
There's preparation.
And remember about the mobile app as well.
Yes.
Once you have data or Wi-Fi,
Once you have connectivity,
that is an efficient way to reach out, because there are things that you can do there without needing to call, and it will actually be faster in terms of the result. So we encouraging the customers to bring that in.
yeah, I really love how JPS is using technology to bring greater value to customers.
It's very important.
There was a point when if I had to listen to that jingle that you do, the one about, you know, I hear it in my head like a tapeworm right now. Yeah, so.
A part of that growth and development is realizing where there are shortfalls or limitations. Customers do complain about the wait time. As much as it's understandable when things happen, there'll be a high volume. If customers are inconvenienced, we want to.
And also, I want to be the first one that you answer.
Yes,
I don't
want to be answer me first.
Yeah, all JPS have been waiting so long. But thank you, Shamar. I wish you well with all that you are doing. And when you are ready to launch your book, how does that happen? When you're ready to launch your book celebrating 100 years of surviving
exit from fashion.
Yeah.
It's falling mangoes.
Yeah. Please be sure to invite me to the launch.
Sure.
Let me stick to
and look out for all we'll be communicating for the rest of the year to celebrate the 100th anniversary. We've done a lot of things, and there are more things. There are more things that are coming. So
Invitation to party, Shaman. Invitation to party.
So we had a staff gala. We also had an opportunity to meet with business leaders.
Yes.
Who own some of the large entities that do rely on us a bit. So we're trying to ensure that we reach out to our customers to say thanks, but also to see how we can improve the relationship and to ensure that our employees are also honored and celebrated, because without employees, then we have been able to have the legacy.
You will only have AI.
Do you have an employee that has worked with JPS for the next 30 years who's still on staff?
Yes, the employee that we have, it's either 40 or 45 years, I believe, that's still on staff.
Wow.
So yes.
Wonderful.
Wow, what department? I'm just curious now. Will not tell me it's the janitorial staff.
I remember the name, but I don't remember this department.
Possibly.
No, it's not janitorial staff.
Okay.
I believe it's the operations side of the business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh. Next time you're visiting, bring your celebrated old-timer.
Can we give you some stories?
True.
Yeah. All right, Shamar, thank you so much.
It was great being here.
Yeah. So next time now, you have a place at the table.
Thank you.
So that is our segment from JPS Cares. And I was saying to Shamar before offset, and also I'll say it now boldly, I believe that programs like these do help to put a more human face on an organization that's a critical partner in development, but what a pain when it's not working. So for those of you who want to forge a better relationship with JPS, JPS is ready to engage with you and to make the future a lot more prosperous. All right, Mr. Producer, would you assist our guest so Percy and I can return to touching on some other matters? You know, speaking to our JPS guest, one of the things that came home to me as they talked about knowledge transfer and documenting systems and simulating stressful situations so that the staff could have the mindset and be, you know, just have the experience
have the dry run.
of going. They do the dry run, yeah.
And
nice word for simulation.
The dry run, but I often say, and it's a discussion I've had always with my family and people close to me, you don't wait until you're in the situation in order to respond. You have to be proactive. You have to think about it, even in terms of your mindset, the things that you do. It becomes, I was looking for it, the boom. The mango, that means it's entrance for us. Right.
This mango is determined to be eaten by me. No, I won't punish it.
But I went boom, and I'm going, but it's a principle, in terms of being proactive, thinking about it. So it doesn't, as we say, buck up in, buck up in the situation. No surprises. And we must applaud JPS for how they have matured, what they've been doing, how it's like, okay, these are the protocols, these are the plan, and they do dry runs. So they know what to expect in case this happens. I want to ask him if in terms of restoration, if you like you have code 1, code 2, and then code red when it is really out there, critical areas.
You just want to learn the language.
Yes.
You can ask him that another time. It is an irresistible segue into how we as a country do pretty much the same thing.
Or should be doing.
Or should be.
Yeah.
But whether we are being passive about it or proactive, it is happening. We have hurricane season every year, 1st of June, 30th of November. If they're not teaching it in school, they should be. For the average Jamaican, if you touch them and ask them, when is hurricane season? I'm sure most of us don't know the dates. It starts on the 1st of June, ends on the 30th of November. And it doesn't just end. If something is in motion, you may have hurricane in December.
Yeah.
And unseasonable weather in December. So it's a necessity that we know what to do. And it must be a frustrating exercise for the company that is most involved in maintaining services to be this ready, invest so much in preparing their own people, while out there on the street, the customers are doing whatever we feel like. Some of us don't even have a flashlight or a kit that we could say if something happens. When disaster strikes, we're heavily dependent on being able to call the police or being able to we need to be able to help ourselves. And you made mention of something, Percy, when Shamar was saying that he has spoken to young people who hate JPS. And when you say, why? They've never had an actual interaction. They inherited it because they come and they hear JPS being cut. It is generational. You made that point about it being generational. So too, on the other side, we as customers in our homes, in our families, can practice a level of preparation, disaster preparedness that will answer some of our immediate needs and, reduce the level of reliance that we place on external agencies. And we saw it during COVID. We spoke about persons being knowledgeable about simple home remedies while you were in isolation that could keep you from needing to go to the hospital or falling into greater levels of decline because of ignorance. And then that allows me to quote our favorite scripture, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." Knowledge in all its forms is to be pursued, to be embraced, to be consumed, so that we can avert disaster, so we don't perish. And that brings us back to education and the philosophy.
Yeah, the philosophy of education. Boy, I'm saying
moving in circles today.
Yeah, so we had the Davis report, then we had Patterson report, and some people are saying some of the same things that Ray Davis, who was then the president of UTEC, he was the person who coordinated it, have come up back, and we have not implemented it. And even when Miss Williams made her presentation in Parliament on education, the sectoral debate, people are saying, but she should have come to the table to say, okay, we are doing this, and what are the follow-up? The Gleaner editor said she just
But Percy, you and I have spoken about the pathway for ideas in society to work themselves into laws, regulations, things that are implemented and pursued. We've talked about it. It's important for citizens to understand that there is a pathway through which or by which your ideas can move from your side of the table into the policy planning side of our national business, and you can see it come to life. That pathway involves some caretakers or messengers or carriers, and that's the political class. Because in a democracy, we elect persons to represent us, and they're the ones through whom our ideas are meant to traverse that divide. We're experiencing critical failure at that level. There's no gainsaying it. We are hearing on the people side a lot of ideas, suggestions, a lot of discussions are taking place amongst the people and producing good fruit.
Good ideas, but
good ideas. But somehow the ideas are not surviving the middle passage. This is like
slavery.
Like slavery. Yes, because your ideas are your spirit children, and you are creating them and putting them out, and somehow what doesn't get aborted, this crib death. You see them not surviving the journey from the people side of the table to the policy and the government side. If we are going to have a better experience of that, it's not just about paying the politicians better so you get a better quality person setting their cap at those jobs.
What we going to do?
Well, Percy, in your home, what do you do to ensure the survival of your children? What do you do?
Take care of them.
But you have to send them out in the world at some point.
Yeah, but you educate them, you teach them.
And anybody who you send them to, you hold them accountable.
Right.
I can't put my child on the bus or put them in a taxi or however they are being conveyed, and I have no idea what is happening with them and if they come home or don't come home.
So what you're saying is that we must hold the leaders accountable?
Yeah, we're finding more creative ways to say the same thing.
Yeah, because even as they talk about the Advocates Network, they're continuing revving up their action. And somebody sent me a press release in terms that they're going to do a burial today.
Oh, like an effigy.
Yes.
Yeah. We're getting more and more creative. I applaud every effort that
to say, wake up,
bring attention to what they say, our parlous condition.
Why? I'm trying to find it, but it is. Because remember the lady, Kay Osborne, I think, who just stood up with one placard. They're going now to Ministry of Finance and Public Service. They're going to be holding up there, I think, today. Today's the 12th. They're going to have a coffin and something there.
Yeah. What can I say? On this subject, not all forms of demonstration are appealing to everybody.
True.
You have to know what is a match for your personality and your faith.
Right.
But every little bit helps.
True.
And I believe that so long as people keep expressing in a lawful way and pressing and pressing and pressing, it will gather momentum and it will have impact.
We speak
The
it
prayer
into-
that we give right before we wrap up for the day, and the prayer that certainly is coming from my heart, is that persons do not grow weary
in doing well,
in doing the right thing. For us here, our job, we stand on the wall, we speak, we're watchmen. Many persons may say you need to do all the talking, but that's what we do. We're on radio, we speak. Percy, we cannot stop speaking.
Okay, so here it is. So, Advocates Network to host funeral service, final protest today. So the Advocate Network will organize a funeral service to mourn the death of high moral leadership and empathy for the suffering of Jamaica by the political directorate, as well as to close its monthly protest action against the high increases for politicians. That's
They're closing it. Even as I'm praying that they don't grow weary,
So
I pray
said,
then that it is replaced by something else.
She said, we now ease up. So we'll be continuing our protest online. So while we are doing the individual protests, we'll run it. So today at 12 o'clock, right in front of the Ministry of the Public Service, Finance and Public Service, they're inviting people to come as they perform the funeral service.
Emancipation Park.
So it is, a consciousness is coming to our Jamaicans. And you must wear black. Show up and wear black.
Well, you have on black pants, you could
Yeah.
find something. Have on a black watch.
Yeah. So it is interesting. So they're asking, as our headline started this morning, where we started this morning and we closed there, it is unfortunate that the government is saying to us, no, we're not showing it because it's still in draft. We're not foolishness that.
But you're acting on it.
Yeah, but how
And
can
you're
you act
acting
on
on
something?
it.
Because
You're inflicting pain and damage with this draft.
Yeah,
and people are saying, show me the weapon. You're hurting me with something. Show me the weapon. You say you didn't mean to hurt me, that you're working in my interest.
Yeah.
So show me what it is. Perhaps I can advise you
to
on an
understand.
adjustment that
Yeah.
could make it be the joy that you declared it was going to be. I cannot forget Minister Clark saying people are going to be better off, just wait and see. And when he was pressed better off, he said, you will know, quantitatively you'll be better off. Ah, well, the producer is correcting me. He was really speaking about the politicians.
No, but it
He had a different thing in mind when he was speaking. So now the proof of the pudding is turning out to not be in the eating. It's a draft.
A draft that is on this way and people are being getting their pay and so on.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Unfortunate is a polite word. All right.
It's garbage?
Garbage. All right, so we're returning now as we wrap up. Daniel Rowe, there is someone out there, or there are persons who know what's happening. When does it will break on the weekend?
No,
the 3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
Tomorrow.
That's Friday.
So I'm thanking God that tomorrow we'll have a suspect or suspects in police custody tomorrow. These persons will come forward and will say, I know something, and can reenact what actually happened, what would have caused such a heinous crime to be perpetrated on an innocent 8-year-old. And it is significant that it is a child, it is an 8-year-old.
Female, of the female gender.
All of those things are
consequences flow.
symbolic because 8 represents a number of new beginnings. And
the female among us.
Yeah, it's about birth, and in doing that, in the spiritual realm, they were trying to set down what is happening in terms of a new thing coming forth. The enemy said, no, man, I go show no. But we are saying, no, it will not be stillborn. It will not be aborted.
It will live.
It will live. It will live.
Amen, Pastor.
It will live.
All right.
Clear that even now.
Yeah, before we take or leave, I want to just wish the fathers among us a very, very, very delightful, well-loved, especially pampered, excellent.
So like you have
Father's
big
Day.
plans, man.
Exceptionally pampered.
So you
Father's
have
Day.
big plans.
My father died from
No, but you have a father. Daniel has a father. You have a husband.
2004. When did my father die? 2004. Yeah, my father died before. Daniel never met his grandfather.
Mas Palmer?
No, Brother Milford.
Brother Milford was his name.
But yeah.
And so they would say Mas Percy.
Brother Palmer.
Mas Percy.
Mas Percy. Yes,
Because I remember I'm
that
named after
makes
my father.
Yeah.
So I go and say, Mas Percy just around the corner when I go to look for him.
Yeah.
Mas Percy up the church.
Oh, that's why you're a junior.
Yes, that's why I say Mas Percy. Mas Percy is on out a road I look for, you know. Because my father was a walkabout in the district, you know, doing his thing,
Oh,
part of JS.
So he was fast like you.
Well, I'm fast. I can run fast.
All right, we'll take the 9:30 break. Can we, please? The breeze is giving us a warm time. We've moved from really hot. I tell you, we're having a weather experience here. We'll be right back.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, at 2 months now, my transmission mash up, you know, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss.
Try to call them because trust me.
And repairs. Good afternoon.
What a relief.
Hello. Pastor Howard Palmer here, coming to you from New York City this and every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's right, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. this and every Saturday morning, right here on Bess 100 FM. Don't you miss it.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
Bess 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show, Lascelles Butch Chen, on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing work in our maturing years. Compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Shalom, this is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Join me every Sunday at 5 p.m. on 100 BES FM, where we will discuss the truth. What's the truth, you ask? Jesus Christ said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. The truth is, brothers and sisters, that Jesus Christ is a black man. The prophets are black. The Israelites are black. And the people of Jamaica, that's right, the people of Jamaica are Israelites. Our people have been scattered throughout North, Central, and South America and the west coast of Africa during the transatlantic slave trade. That's right, your church don't want to talk about it, but guess what? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the worst atrocity that happened in all mankind, according to the Holy Bible, according to Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15 through 16. So join us every Sunday on BES FM at 5 p.m. Shalom.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on BES 100.
It's good. It's better. But nothing beats.
Welcome back.
Yes, good morning. Welcome back to those who are online, those who are listening us across the length and breadth of this country.
Beautiful, beautiful Jamaica.
Wonderful Jamaica. Remember, the funeral service happens today starting at 12 o'clock.
Are you officiating? Who do you think they got to officiate?
Because the JCC is a part of that called Jamaica Council Church in terms of the total rollback. So it would be interesting to see the cross-section of individuals who turn up in black. We are mourning the loss of moral high ground in the politics of our country.
Let me see that press release again, because honestly,
yes,
how many persons can participate in that? Yeah, I'm just curious. When you say you're mourning the loss of the political, what is it?
Yes.
All right, let's see. Advocates Network. All right, so the funeral service is to mourn the death of high moral leadership and empathy for the suffering of Jamaica by the political directorate, as well as to close off their monthly protest. But what they're really asking for, so you know what you're supporting, they do not want the salary increase to be a 9-day wonder. They have demanded to roll back the salaries until accountability measures have been put in place, yes, okay, good. So the Advocates Network, they've asked the government to roll back the salary increase until accountability measures are in place. That call has been ignored. So if you are supporting the advocates in their protest, this is what you are saying. You agree with them that salaries should be rolled back, and you agree with them that there should be no new salaries until systems for accountability are in place. I would add one thing to it.
Okay.
There should be no salary increase for the political class until the other classes of civil servants are taken care of. And I use taken care of as a kind of euphemism to say the same attention you are giving to making your salary meaningful. Police deserve it. Teachers deserve it. Doctors and nurses deserve it. The civil service. Yeah, it's not, do not reward yourselves while you have failed to fulfill your duty to the others who can only get a wage increase by looking to you. You do your own wage increase. You don't look to anybody else for wage increase. You do it for yourself. If you're going to treat yourself that well, you must treat the others with similar care. So to me, it's not just about accountability. Accountability is not a reward to the Jamaican people. Accountability is our due.
Yeah.
It is the necessary consequence of the job you do that you are held accountable. You don't give that to me. That's my right.
Yeah.
I'm entitled to it.
And I'm in agreement.
So you can't say, oh, well, let me pay myself properly and I'll then account to you. No. Whether you're badly paid or you're well paid, accountability is due.
Still accountable to me.
Yes.
And the Jamaican people. And it is interesting. I keep getting this sense from politicians that when they do what they're supposed to do, they're making a big to-do about it. Where
the unprofitable servant.
Yes. When they're doing things, they're fixing road. That is part of it.
Yeah, the cameras are all there storming the road that you're fixing. Hey, that's your job.
Yeah, right. And just to say, the advocates is a non-partisan alliance of individuals. If you're an individual, you can join an organization advocating for human rights and good governance to improve the socio-economic conditions of the people of Jamaica and transform lives.
I love what they're doing simply because they're doing something.
Yeah.
Don't even really matter if what they do is what you would do. There are persons who have ways of protest that are in alignment with your heart and what you believe in. Join in. We want company. Listen to me. The most beautiful thing would be if all Jamaicans found a place through which they can express how they feel and have impact. It doesn't matter if you're doing, the Rastas are doing one thing, the Maroons are doing another, the sanitation workers are doing something. Just be doing something. I love it.
They're encouraging citizen participation.
Don't just sit there and let it be done to you.
Structural issues of inequality, injustice, discrimination, abuse, violence, corruption, and other social problems that have persisted from our history of slavery colonization and contributed to human rights. And
you hear me smiling because Taki wrote something that I'm going to share it. Social media has uplifted the awareness. This is where awareness of the public. And that is why Minister Tufton is, he says worming, but whinging is a good word too. Is whinging about making policies in Parliament to slow that down in his ramblings about AI.
Right on the button, Taki. Right on the button. You were right on the button. Right on the button. But you know, I want to applaud a father sitting in front of me today. I want to applaud our producer. I want to applaud him. He's a good father. He's a good role model.
You're being clapped.
And even as we applaud the work of fathers all over this country who will be celebrated on Sunday in church services, in communities. Father is a very important person. Been in my life. The experience has been good, bad for me, but I still applaud my father. And I always hear the words of my mom, even in terms of the turbulent times, says, he's your father, you honor him. And I think what has happened as a result for me, that those simple words that my mom would say, bless you, Miss Hazel, has redounded to me in terms of some of the things that have happened in my own life, in terms of blessing to me. So I applaud our producer, Mr. Pastor Lowen Lawrence, and the many fathers who are out there all over this country. Some of the times you are not heralded, you are not lauded, celebrated, but keep on doing what you're doing.
It's having impact.
It's having impact. And I see more fathers. One of the phenomena I've observed as a PTA president, you'd go to a PTA meeting and you'd see a lot of females. But over the time that I was involved at the primary school level, then at the high school level, I saw more and more fathers coming to these PTA meetings. And I said, yes, I was excited about that.
Let the growth continue.
Yes.
Before we wrap up, Percy, and Boris Johnson is a fairly new father himself, but I'm not going to celebrate him as a father today. I am going to be just mentioning, one of our listeners mentioned it online. I'm looking at the story now. A committee of UK lawmakers harshly rebuked former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson on Thursday, saying he lied to Parliament about lockdown flouting parties and was complicit in a campaign to intimidate those investigating his conduct during the coronavirus pandemic. Now, I don't borrow many things from the UK now, because I believe their time with us is up and their time influencing our opinion is up. But surely, if they can manage to produce a report that speaks honestly, openly about the failings of their maximum leader, can we hope that the Joint Select Committee of Parliament that is reviewing the Integrity Commission Act could do the same? Because everything that's mentioned here is relevant to the work they are doing. So
be not intimidated.
Do not be
no spirit of fear
by the noise that is coming out of the political class who are using their campaign hustings and the parliamentary privilege to denigrate and to undermine the work of the Integrity Commission. Integrity Commission needs to be strengthened and encouraged in the work that they're doing for us. And I just pray they stay the course. And despite the threat of using lawmaking powers to resolve their concerns with the Integrity Commission, I pray that the people of Jamaica will develop the backbone to push back and to cause our parliamentarians to remember that they are accountable to us.
Amen.
Amen. So,
let it be.
Of course, Boris Johnson has called them a kangaroo court.
But he's resigned. He's resigned, you know.
Yes. But, you know, even after the fact, they didn't sweep it under the rug. They have concluded their investigation. Yes. He called them a kangaroo court. He went all the way to New Zealand to find a description for them. All right.
Australia.
Kangaroos are in New Zealand also. You did not know?
No, I only know about Australia.
Yeah, that's true. They're in Australia.
Big time. And I saw
Down under. Did they see you?
Yes.
Oh, you know.
And I fed him.
Oh, all right.
Went to the zoo. Yeah.
All right. Unmute, because the man just gave you such. That's because of your uniqueness, why he said it. Yes. You're a worthy specimen. Anyone would keep you. All right. Or maybe just thank those who have stuck with us online, on air. Thursdays are definitely an indulgence for Minett and Percival. And I tell you, nature is on full display. It was very hot when we came here. In no time, the sweat was pouring from yours truly. Then we got some brilliant sunshine. And now the breeze is just teasing. It's playful. Deliver the mango to me. I shall deal with it after breakfast. So it's shaping up to be a lovely day. And so we wish you all the best for the rest of the day and into the weekend. On Father's Day, may all the fathers receive the love, the respect, the honor that they deserve. And even those who might not deserve it, may we be prophetic and give it to them anyway so they can see what is in store for them when they perform to their fullest capacity. Have a great weekend, everyone. Back in the studio, thank you, Lloydie. And right here, thank you. Oh, yes. Happy Father's Day to you, Lloydie. Is this the first Father's Day for him?
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
And for the Mr. Shaw too. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to Papa Shaw.
Yes.
And Lowell, well, you know, you shall receive your honor. As always. Yes. Pastor Percival, happy Father's Day to you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, and that's from the penny section. All right, we're signing off. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks, Lowell. Thanks, Percy.
Amen.
Why? Believe me. Puppet masters that pull strings and the nation sing. How about world peace and bright future chanting, yet talking to the garrisons and tell them acting. Fear dollar, see your brother, yellow tape and chalk him. If knowledge is your guide, a better life you're starting. Cause all the system set you wide as sink or swim. Racial debates that start for hunger sparking. Thought with the precious melanin of our dark skin. I would like to see the day when my words will spark a change. Or is this like a hit song? Cause my verses and my melodies emit strong. I wanna know if that's completely strange. For my words to spark a change. Or is this just another hit song? Cause my verses and my melodies. What if see it's not really what it is? Their vision is a scam to divide the families. They call our children kids. Subliminally this is deep. They want our future kings and queens to go up into sheep. What if every man was just another man or woman? We're soldiers in this one mission. We're all the same, red blood pumping through our veins from our hearts, characterized by reflections of our thoughts. I would like to see the day when my words will spark a change. Or is this just another hit song? Cause my verses and my melodies them hit strong. I wanna know if that's completely strange. For my words to spark a change. Or is this just another hit song? Cause my verses and my melodies. Puppet masters that pull strings and the nation sing. How about world peace, a bright future chanting, yes, talking to the garrisons and tell them acting. Fear dollar, see your brother, yellow tape and track him. If knowledge is your guide, a better life you're starting. Cause how the system set you right, I think or swim. Racial debates that start for anger sparking. Thought away the precious melanin of our dark skin. I would like to see the day when my words will spark a change. Or is this just another hit song? Cause my verses and my melodies them it's strong. I wanna know if that's completely strange. For my words to spark a change. Or is this just another hit song? Cause my verses and my melodies. What if what you see is not really what it is? The vision is a scam to divide the families. They call our children kids. Subliminally this is deep. They want our future kings and queens to go up into sheep. What if every man was just another man or woman? We're soldiers in this one mission. We're all the same, red blood pumping through our veins from our hearts, characterized by reflections of our thoughts. By reflections of our thoughts, yeah. Reflections of our thoughts. I would like to see the day when my love will spark a change. In other words, I would like to see the day when my words will spark a change. Or is it just another hit song? Whoa, 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 yes. Just another hit song. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I can hear the children playing outside, someone whistling as they pass by. I can hear the birds as they're singing good morning. I'm loving this feeling. Ooh, 'cause it's a great day to be alive. When I know that there's nothing better than life. So I won't worry about my problems today. I'm wearing a smile. I'm just living my life. Bringing light to my problems, light, no more hiding in silence. Yesterday is gone, I won't complain. Life feels amazing. It's not about what I could have done, but it's about what I'm gonna do. Ooh, my life ain't perfect, but it's worth it. Looking forward for something new. It's a great day to be alive. When I know that there's nothing greater than life. So I won't worry about my problems today. I'm wearing a smile. I'm just living my life. Oh, whenever you think that it's over and done, some stress when there's nowhere to run. If ever you find a roof over your head, then you've got to feel you're fortunate. Yes, so I won't think about it. Today I'm gonna be about it. Life is amazing and I don't doubt it. So I shout, it's a great day to be alive. When I know that there's nothing better than life. So I won't worry about my problems today. I'm wearing a smile. I'm just living my life. I can hear the children playing outside. Someone whistling as they pass by. I can hear the birds as they're singing good morning. I'm loving this feeling. Ooh, 'cause it's a great day to be alive. When I know that there's nothing better than life. So I won't worry about my problems today. I'm wearing a smile. I'm just living my life. 'Cause it's a great day to be alive. When I know that there's nothing greater than life. So I won't worry about my problems today. I'm wearing a smile. I'm just living my life. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord. All of the money when you kill off the ladies. Remember say you have a mother too. She coulda kill you from your inner belly stages. She made the choice and carry you. Carry you up, say you remember the innocent faces. 'Cause you got pay back for what you do. School children and pretty little babies coming like you make the devil color you. So when you rob them and you stop them and you shoot them and you kill them and you run and you run. Me I wonder if you're looking at yourself for a minute when you're done. When you're done, you realize you left a family without a daughter or a son. Or a son. It not get more worse than this. So make when the line and get cursed from the sky. You make a phone call out the road. 'Cause it's possible for lose your life. If you don't want to see me girl go out the road 50-50 might lose your wife. Make up full to let her overflow. What kind of liberty them youth sell? It come in like who not hard make out a stone. Made the little youth's future bright. Me talk to the youths them. Protect the girls in a school that abuse them. When the school done I make you trouble in a group then. From where they missing about a lose friend. Ladies, maybe tell you this. 3 money in a taxi, me I beg you don't use them. Straight face a call, you don't want no one who them. Pay attention to things round you when you move them. All the while, So when you rob them and you stop them and you shoot them and you kill them and you run and you run. Me, I wonder if you're looking at yourself for a minute when you're done. When you're done, I hope you realize you left a family without a daughter or a son. Or a son. It not get more worse than this. So make when you line and get cursed from this year. You will make a phone call out the road. Cause it's possible for lose your life. If you even want to see me girl go out the road 50-50 might lose your eyes. Make up full to it a overflow. What kind of liberty them youths? Coming like could not hard make out a stone. Make the little youth's future bright. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord. All of the man them I kill off the ladies.